Through the silence, your voice is clear. Your presence, Lord, I draw near. Be still and know you are God. Your love surrounds me, it's never flowed. Praise your name forever, adored. In your truth, I'm restored.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Night Hangout. And my beautiful guest, Mary. And I've got both her channels there up on the screen, Blessed to Crochet and Blessings Through Connection. Hello, Stephanie, and hello, Chu. Welcome. Let's see. Okay. I don't know about you, but when I used to work, Monday was usually a rough day to get through. And so when I was trying to decide, when to do lives and stuff, I was like, we need to have a Monday night where we just can kind of chill out and
Yeah, hang
chat
out,
and,
right?
you know, hang out. So that's how Monday night hangout became. And then I got so busy after I didn't have to have my granddaughter every day that I was like, I can't do lives every single day. So I don't do them every Monday, but it is good to be here on a Monday night.
Yes.
And it looks like your chat is coming
Yep.
up. So that's good. I think we're all connected.
Finally, I could not
So go
figure
ahead.
it out on the Suno night, but I got it tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. It is sometimes it just is difficult, wants to be difficult. Hello, Shantirement. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
So, Mary, go ahead and tell us about how you started. I know about Blessed to Crochet, but I want to know what's the story behind starting the second channel.
Well, Blessing Through Connection came through just because when you are trying to do your watch hours, it is very difficult when you have your watch hours and you're trying to gain them and you go on people's channel, and there's a difference between having playlists that have collaborations where you make it very clear what is your content and what's not. But when you have them all mixed up and you are trying to help somebody gain those watch hours and get monetized, it makes it difficult to kind of navigate that when they don't have it clearly stated. And so I thought, well, you know what? I looked at Rushing Wind Mountain. We all know about Tuber Chat. And I thought, that's great. Let's go ahead and just, start Blessings Through Connection. And I had this wonderful idea, of going ahead and doing what I'm kind of doing now. And I just went ahead and did it. And I thought, for right now, until I can devote some time to this, we're going to just put people's playlist on there. That way, I could send people over to that channel with playlist and people that I wanted to support, people that I liked, channels that we liked. And this way, they could go over there and see playlists without them kind of getting, you know, it all jumbled up when we were trying to kind of monetize. And I thought I'll just leave that channel that way for a while. And then I said, okay, we got this one monetized for about 80 away. And I'm telling you, it's like YouTube's just playing with those numbers. I'm like, can we just go to 2K a little faster than this? I feel like the turtle just kind of come on. And I kind of feel as if, you know, um, you get one monetized. It's kind of like having a baby, and it's like you're going through it and I'm never doing this again. And then once you get done, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one, and because it's hard to do, it's hard to grow a channel. And so I said to people, my YouTube tubes are tied. I'm not doing one after this. No more. I'm done. But I thought this will give an opportunity for the subscriber numbers to grow on this a little bit. So we have almost 250 subscribers. We need to get that one, of course, to its number and everything. And then I said, okay, how can we do this? I didn't want a totally faceless channel. And I didn't want to do it like Tuber Chat. That wasn't the goal of that ever. I didn't want to, I wanted to remind people that when they come in, how to make those connections correctly and do them right. But also kind of use that as a channel when I'm having a really hard day and I can't do a live on Blessed to Crochet. I can do a live there and still have that connection going, but I don't have to be, not that I'm the same on and off, but if I'm really in pain, I'm not the greatest to be around
Yeah,
because I
right,
deal with
right.
fibromyalgia on a daily basis. So I've added some video. We're going to add some more video in there. I need to reduce some of the video in there. And of course, like Blessed to Crochet, that channel is my mom's. So I'm just helping her do it. And then we will, of course, when that's monetized, just like Blessed to Crochet, that all goes to her. And I want people to come in there and realize you all have channels under YouTube. But if you are trying to grow your channel, you cannot do it without connection. Unless you're, getting the lottery lucky of YouTube, where, you get
Well,
10,000 subscribers in one hit.
right. But you know what? I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. The subscribers on their own will not grow your
Absolutely.
channel. You have to have subscribers who are also viewers who are going to watch your content.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference. It's like there are ways to get subscribers and there's ways to get watch hours. And it's kind of like a delicate balance. You need to do both. YouTube requires that you have so many subscribers and so many watch hours. But I know a lot of channels get the subscribers pretty quickly, but then they don't have the watch hours.
Exactly.
So to me, I don't care as much about the number of subscribers I have. I care more about the number that actually watch and comment on my videos.
And I agree the same thing.
So,
It's not about building
yeah.
a community it's about building a community, not an audience. And one thing that I'm finding out through doing Blessing Through Connection is realizing there's a lot of people that they come in and they kind of don't understand how to do the connection part a little bit. It's kind of helpful to come in there and just be there and have that connection.
Right.
So we make everybody a mod when they go.
I have not gotten, not to say I haven't gotten viewers off of just subscribers who maybe watched a short video and hit subscribe. Some people will come to your channel and they will look at your other content. And sometimes those do become members of your community. But the majority of them don't do anything other than hit that subscribe button and keep on going. And like you said, if they don't go and watch some content, it doesn't stick. And then that subscription really doesn't do anybody any good. And when I first started on YouTube, I was like, I just want one person who doesn't have a channel yet that is just a viewer. Because everybody that has their channel and is putting out content, they're doing their work and they're trying to grow their channels as well. And I'm like, why do I not have anybody who is just a viewer?
Yeah.
But you know what I have discovered? A lot of people that start out as viewers, because they go in other chats and things, people start connecting to them. And eventually they're like, I got 50 subscribers. I could go live,
Yeah.
maybe I'll start
Yeah.
a channel. And then they end up having a channel. So I don't see that many people who don't have every once in a while, somebody will be like, yeah, I don't put up content,
Well, everybody has a
but
channel, and when you come into Blessings Through Connection, we took a break last week because last week was just busy and I didn't have time to do it. But when you come in, we make you a mod. And that makes it real easy for everybody to go back and forth between each channel. And we remind you when you come in, go to their channel, watch 3 minutes of shorts, watch 3-minute video or more, make a playlist so that when you maybe can't do all that, depending on how busy it is, then you can put those channels in your playlist and make those connections the right way. We're reminding people how to do it. And even if there's people that are already connected, we're even encouraging, and I have to make a little video that I put throughout it to say, even if you're already connected, go over to them and just watch a short for a moment. Say hello, make a comment, make your footprint, get those connection engines going, is what we say over there. And we have peaceful audio, peaceful music, peaceful video, and we just have that going through. We also do shout outs on our channels, on both channels, every day. And those channel shout outs go into a weekly recap that comes out on every Monday at 8 o'clock. So we take all the channel shout outs for the week. We go in on Monday, we put the recap in with our theme song for both Blessed to Crochet and Blessings Through Connection. And then we run those on our lives when we do our lives, sometimes once or twice during the live. And we drop those links of those channels that we've given the shout out to. We also do the YouTube shuffle, connection to the right, connection to the left. And we also want to be able to do playlists. The only thing we say is we'll do a playlist for you, which contains 5 hours worth of your content, but we're just asking you do like a 30 or 45-minute interview. We want to get to know you behind it. We want everybody to say, okay, this is who the person is behind their channel. Get to know them.
that's a very good idea. That is a very good idea.
So we're working to try to get that. I'm still trying to work with my daughter to finish up her interview. And there was a recent YouTube study, and I actually did a live on it, why people watch. And they want to watch because they want to be able to relate to somebody. So I kind of did my own
Hmm.
interview, and I'm going to change it a little bit. But in order to have a playlist on there, then that's the only requirement. That helps us out a little bit, helps you out as well. And we're trying to do them anywhere between 3 to 4 times a week. And then we also do something called calming streams. And that means we shut off the comments. I know it gets confusing and I've got to get caught up with those a little bit. But I love everybody, but I can't sit by the computer for 8 hours. It's not happening. But we have people say, we come in just to listen to the music and watch the streams going in the back, the calming videos. And so can you just do that separate? So when they see the calming, or I think it's calming blessing stream, I think that's what I called it. When you see those and the comments are turned off, they're running for about 6 to 8 hours, just so people can have that, whether they're using it to sleep with or they're using it just to relax sometime during the day. People can watch them if they'd like to help us with our watch hours. That's a great way without my voice and, the shout outs going off and all that kind of stuff. And then when they see the Let's Connect, that's when we're live, in the sense that people can come in, because the magic really happens in the chat. And
Right.
I kind of really feel as if you have one channel, think about just having another one. You may never do anything with it, but even if it just takes your people that you want to support and you can make playlists over there, it takes it out of your content. You can still send people over there, but then people are watching your things. Now, if we have, like, we're doing Fall Fest, I know you are, we'll put
Mm-hmm.
that kind of collaboration, but 99% of our stuff is totally Blessed to Crochet.
Right.
And
Let me turn my air on for just a second. I'll be
you're
right
fine.
back. I'm getting a little too warm. I have a weird air conditioner and I have to manually do it. There we go. I really probably need to call my apartment maintenance people and have them come look at it because once it cuts off,
Yeah.
it does not come back on by itself.
Oh my
And then you
goodness.
have to go and manually do it. So sometimes I forget to go ahead and cut it on. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm getting a little hot. Why is my air not on? And that's why, because I have to go manually and do that. I was going to ask you, you're into Suno
Yes.
now and you're making songs with Suno. Um, I have one playlist on my channel that I'm going to eventually be putting making videos for my songs and then putting them in that playlist or whatever. But do you have a playlist specifically for your songs?
Well, I have one for Blessed to Crochet, and we actually have a really cool song. What we're doing is we do quote Mondays on Blessed to Crochet, and we're actually just taking the quote. Sometimes I'll put it in Chat GPT and say, okay, make me a poem. And then I'll take the poem and go into Suno and say, okay, now generate a song. And any of the videos, and so I do have a playlist on Blessed to Crochet that says Suno songs. I did one for my daughter for her birthday,
Mm-hmm.
which took me several days, but it was something I
Yes,
really wanted to do for
but
her.
it's
It was
beautiful, but it
absolutely,
has a lot of pictures, a lot of
and I did that all
pictures.
majority of it through Canva. And I just took, we had our quote Monday, and I took a portion of the song that I created for quote Monday, and I put it with the quote Monday little 50-second short. And now I've put out the video. The video will be out at 10:30. It's going out to the members first. And so I do have one there on Blessings Through Connection. There is a couple. I do have a little playlist. There's mainly a thank you song on there because I forgot to do weekly shout outs one week. I said, oops, the whole week just went bye bye. And I'm like, wait a minute. They're there. They're just not scheduled out. And then I have our theme song. So that channel is very tunnel vision focused. And we love Tuber Chat, but Tuber Chat is mainly for people with content growing a channel with other content creators. I'm hoping Blessing Through Connection will be a place that whether you have content or not, you're coming in there to get to know wonderful communities, wonderful people. Content creators are connecting with other content creators, as well as content creators connecting with viewers and viewers connecting with content creators. And there's that whole mix that comes in there. That's what I'm hoping to see. But like Tuber Chat, it is very tunnel focused. There's nothing on the side. Blessed to Crochet we have recipes and songs and devotions, which I'm going to be getting caught up. I went through I've been putting them out, but I looked at the devotions and I'm like, when I was trying to get caught up with these devotions, I really looked tired. I thought I needed a break for a little bit.
You have to get a balance. And
Yeah.
I just started. Hi, Eat More Pizza and Sophia, welcome, and Gail, welcome. I'm terrible about watching the chat, and I do apologize, but welcome everybody in. Marina, am I saying that right? Marina, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Good evening. Um, I have two other channels. And when I started my dog's channel, Chloe's channel first, and then I did this channel, and I got so absorbed in this channel that I kind of didn't do a whole lot on Chloe. And then I had started the other channel with another idea and then ended up not doing that. And so then I decided when I was doing my granddaughter's preschool stuff that I would make a preschool channel. So all of the time I've had those three channels, but I only really focused on this
Yeah.
channel. And now that I don't watch my granddaughter 5 days a week, I'm starting to do things and put out content on these other channels. But it's still got to be about
Yeah.
balance. So I've like already told myself, they can do one live a week, they can do one video a week, maybe a couple of
Yeah.
shorts, and that's it. Because I do almost either videos or a premiere or a live almost every day on this channel, and I don't want to get burned out. I don't want to get it to where it's overloading me. But it is all about balance. You have
Yeah.
because you still have a life
Well,
outside of
what
YouTube.
happened
You know,
with the whole thing was in March, everybody knows that my aunt passed. And then I had some pretty significant, I actually winded up in the hospital over Easter. My hormones decided to say, "Woo," and they went nuts. And, I had my, it was just crazy. And so they were even thinking they may have to, do some things, and they put me on medication. So I was really, really tired,
yeah,
emotionally, physically. I was grieving the loss of my aunt, and um, I think it was in July, and then I've had some really significant sciatica issues. Yep, breathe exactly. Um,
that's what he's asking me. Does the sign on your door say breathe? I'm like, yes, it does.
I had some pretty significant actual sciatica issues that made it very difficult to sit, and I'm still struggling with them. So I will get caught up. There's about 6.5 months worth of devotions, so people can go watch those. And I'm actually starting to take some of the shorts, which I'm behind on the Bible verses, because even though the devotions are not out, it's important to put the Bible verses out. But I'm actually going into Suno and taking the Bible verses and actually making songs for them instead of relying on. And I did a really cool song for the Bible verse for last night. And so I'm trying to put out, I'm going to get caught up with those. And if I can get caught up with those, then I can put the Bible verse out in the morning and the song at night. And that's what I want to start doing. But it was really cool. It took me a little bit of time on the second one. I, I was trying to make it, give me the song I'm looking for. And then I should have said, just stop and try tomorrow. And it came up with an awesome song. And,
Yeah,
I,
I,
I love Suno. I mean,
I love it too, but I have that kind of personality where I'm just like, but I like that, but what else? What's the next thing it's
yeah,
gonna do? And what if I change this and change that? And then before you know, and my Suno thing is a mess. Really publish any of them on Suno. I don't think I have but a couple
I do.
songs actually in my playlist on Suno, but I have oodles and oodles of them various stages of completion that eventually one day I will go in there and can narrow it down, hopefully. But
You
I
know what
really
I
need, I could spend a whole day doing nothing but cleaning up my Suno,
You know what I've done is
you
I've
know.
actually, like, I went into the one I did for the quote Monday, and I've published the song, and then I've put the video, the quote, to our channel on there. So it's just another way of people to be able to find us and find blessings through connection and so forth. So I have published songs, and I just, I know it's AI, but it's just, it's a way of expressing yourself. And I'm actually going to be doing, I've done a couple relaxing songs on Suno that I'm going to be using on Blessings Through Connection, instead of using pixel based songs or what have you. So, um, we're, and we're trying to take, like, we change the music every month. We change the background every week. So there's a different background every week for people to come in. I have to delete episode 34 and redo it because it said it was copyrighted issue and I don't want to have that problem later on. But
Mhm.
I just wanted to have a place where people can come and we can support each other. And then another thing we're doing is on Blessings Through Connection and Blessed to Crochet, we have something called the Connection Hub. And they're posts that go up every solitary day. Even if it's just that you go in there and say hi, then that's your footprint. And I've been telling people, if you see somebody and go, okay, I'm already connected with them, go over and watch a short and put your footprint. Think about it for just a second. Before we had
Mhm.
Ring doorbells, we have a lovely lady. I'm so grateful. And it will be the next blanket in my blanket stash of stuff to do. I'm actually going to do her a dog blanket. But she, because my mother's older, Josh uh, has to walk with a walker because of the Klinefelters that he has, and I, of course, can't walk. I can walk, but I struggle, and I've had to use my walker more than I would like to over the past 2 months. And she is a lady that runs. She's a tiny little lady. And we were outside with my daughter, and she said, "Listen, I'd love to come and take Mocha for a run." This lady, for the past week and a half, has come and taken that dog for a run every solitary day. She said, "It's my highlight of my day to take Mocha for her run." She has these two big dogs, bigger than Mocha. And she said, "But I have so much joy running this dog and taking her for a walk because she's so much easier than my other two dogs to take." And Mocha just loves it. And it's an answer to prayer. Unbelievable, unbelievable prayer for us that she just came and just was like, "Thank you, Lord, so much for that." And I don't even know where I was going with this, but I have to make her.
Oh, that you're gonna make a
I'm gonna
blanket
have to.
for
I'm gonna have to make her a dog blanket, um,
her.
because
Yeah.
that's the next one that I have, and that's one thing that we've been doing too is we've been going outside. We couldn't go outside today, guys, because it was raining and I was really, really, really tired. But we've gone outside and we've actually sat trying to watch the fall leaves with the fountain. We've allowed you all to put a hashtag in the chat, which means that people can connect with your channel. And um, that way you can put hashtag blessed and people can connect. And we're just sitting there. I'm working on a blanket for Helping Hands for Cruising right now in memory of my dad. That will go for their auction in November. It helps people to get cruises and so forth that otherwise couldn't afford it. And we're watching the fall
Mhm.
leaves and the fountain so you guys can connect and you can build your community before we get in winter. And then when winter hits, we'll bring my rocking chair in here and we'll put a green screen behind this and we'll sit and we'll do that. I remembered where I
I
was going with
almost
the
went
dog.
Oh, I was gonna say I almost went outside today because I have very little tiny trees around me, and I looked out the window and there was like 2 or 3 little leaves
Yeah.
falling off the tree, and I was like, "Oh, I need to run out there and video that." And by the time I got to the door, the wind had stopped. I mean,
Yeah.
just like, "Nope, you missed the opportunity." So I may not get to see any falling
But
leaves here, but maybe.
you've come in when we've had the fountain with the fall leaves starting to turn behind us and it's
Mhm.
just beautiful. But where I was going with Mocha and the lady who's coming, to walk her is when she's coming back from her run. We know when she's coming back because the doorbell ring thing says, "Oh, motion detected." But we're in a day and age where we have that. But just think before we had that. When you went to somebody's house and you knocked on the door, when you go into somebody's channel, when you knock on the door, that's hitting the subscribe button, or what we like to say is the connection button. I don't have an emotional connection to Hulu and all those kind of channels, but I have an emotional connected connection to your channel. You're my friend and other communities that I'm in. If something better than
Right.
Hulu came up, I would transfer with no problem. I did that with my phone service. I went from Cricket to Spectrum. It was like I was not connected to them, even though I had a monthly subscription for the phone service. But before we had the ability to have ring things, when somebody came to your door and knocked, if you weren't home, unless they left you a voicemail, which you didn't find out till you went and listened to your answering machine, or left you a note and said, I was here, give me a call,
Right.
you didn't know they stopped by. So if you go to
No,
somebody's
you
channel
sure
and you
did.
hit the subscribe button, or as we call the connection button, and you do not leave your footprint, whether you have a channel or not, guess what happens? They don't know you've stopped by. There are so many notifications in YouTube. I miss if somebody sits there and says, I've just connected. But if you've left me a message, when I go back to our chat and I answer chats, or my mom answers the chats, if somebody says I'm new, or there's a name that just doesn't something we don't recognize, we're going to check out somebody's channel and we're going to connect with them. But if you just hit the
Right.
subscribe button, I may pay attention to it, but there's a lot of notifications that come through. Not always the ones we need. But, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
You
things
can
that come through and it
become
gets lost.
Yes, I just went through my comments a little while ago and I didn't realize, but I didn't have it set for the most recent ones to come up on top. And so every time I answered comments, I felt like I was, finding one here and there that I had missed, from yesterday or the day before. And I was like, why am I missing these comments?
Exactly.
And then I happened to look at that and I was like, well, no wonder because they're just shooting them in there, but they're not coming in the order that they're
Yeah.
coming through. And so I changed it. But then I went back like 10 days worth and found about 25 comments that I had totally missed. And I was like, I hate that because I like when I get the little thing saying, congratulations, your
Yeah.
comment got a heart. And so you know that the person knows that you left that
Exactly.
comment. And I was like, these people do not know that I know they left me a comment, but now they will because I caught myself up. But that's what I do now is if I go through my comments and I see a channel on there that I don't recognize, I automatically go to that channel, watch a couple videos, subscribe to that channel, and then go back in my comments and say, thank you for coming to my channel. I visited you, or,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's stay connected, or, whatever. And I find that way I'm making sure that the people who have connected with me, I'm connecting back with them.
Exactly.
But you're right. If they don't leave you a comment, and
No.
even if you go in the analytics and look at your subscribers, those are only your public
Yes.
subscriber. So if they don't have theirs set to public, you'll never know that they're a
And
subscriber of
and
yours unless you go to their channel and it says, that you're
and
subscribed
I'm
or
not saying
whatever.
this in a to put off on that for a little bit, or to sit there and say, but I we're almost too busy for that. If please, if you're coming on in and you want to say hello, or you're new, or just making a comment, please do, because it makes our job easier, to be able to do it. And we're busy trying to put out content. If you go to Blessed to Crochet, there's over 1500, I think, worth of devotions and recipes and talks and songs and devotions and Bible verses and all different kind of stuff. We're doing that. So it does make our job a little easier when you put a comment in, even if it's just to say hello. That's why we started with the Daily Hub. If you're going to have a live, let us know. And one thing that we're doing, I have to get back at doing it. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is with all the rain or something. My allergies today have not been fun. Um, if you're gonna
Hey, Deborah, welcome.
if you're gonna do a live, let us know. We're trying to put them up on the community board, like 15 or 20 minutes before we're leaving a thumbs up. We're putting it in the description. That way we know if we come across it and we haven't done that, we haven't put it up, because I'd like to light up the community tab over at Blessings Through Connection with people that are doing lives and their premieres. And that way we can see, somebody's going live. You can tell it just comes up a little differently on the community post. So if I see somebody has a live on Blessed to Crochet, I'll go over at Blessings Through Connection and put it on the community tab about 20 minutes before. But even those posts that are coming up, the connection hubs, tell us you're having a live. Somebody may stumble on and say, oh, this person's having a live 8 p.m. tonight. Or even if it's just hello and you're already connected, go over and say hello. Show them that support. Show your digital footprint. It does make a difference. YouTube wants to see your name active within the community of YouTube. They want to see it.
Yeah,
And so
I'll tell you, probably 90% of people, if you reach out and connect with them and show them support, they're going to do the same thing back to you. Star said, I need to get better at leaving comments. I watch so many on my TV, but just found out can link my phone so I can watch on TV and comment on my phone.
That's
great. True. You can do that. And I'm like, I just learned on my laptop that I can actually have different tabs open with different videos playing on the different tabs.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't realize that until recently. And I have 2 laptops, a tablet, a phone, and a TV. So I have like 5 things I can watch stuff on. So I usually always have something playing somewhere along the way,
Yeah, I mean,
but I found 2 guys that I don't know if I met them in Blessing Through Connection or not. I'm going to say their names, and then you'll know if you know them. The first one is Real Outdoor Living.
Yes.
And the second one is Okies Eden.
Found both of them through mine.
Okay.
And Real Outdoor Living is amazing.
And so I just, went to their channels, watched a couple of videos, connected, and then I don't remember if they said, help us out and play the playlist or what, but I was like, hey, I'll run a playlist for you. So I was running the playlist for both of them, and they both were like, okay, I got you back. And they were running ones for me. So it does help,
yes, it
y'all.
does.
It really does help. Even if you're monetized, you still need to keep watch hours. It's not like once you get monetized, then you don't
free
care
sailing.
about
No
watch
way.
hours. You still need to grow more subscribers and more watch hours as the time goes by. But don't be
it's all about the connection.
It's like, don't be somebody who doesn't do what you say. If you say you're going to do something for somebody, then make sure that you do it, because they will pay you back. They will help you out any way they can, but not if they find out that you're not an honest person. And then that will get around in the community. Believe me, you don't want the community to be talking bad about you because you didn't do what you said you would do. If you honestly cannot watch stuff, don't say you will. Don't volunteer that you will, because that doesn't do anybody any good.
I watched your playlist. And I keep saying to myself, Mary, you got to go back in and comment on it. Because I did watch one. We were swapping one, and I'm like, I got to go back and comment on it. I get sidetracked.
I
It's
I'll
on my
do like
schedule tomorrow.
I'll do a comment on the first video and a comment on the last video. And sometimes if I'm not,
Yeah,
busy, I might throw other comments in there. But I'm like, especially if there's, 30
yeah,
videos in there, I'm not going through and doing 30 comments or whatever. But then again, too, you can tell if somebody has watched your
yeah,
playlist or not only by the views on the videos, but also your watch hours will
yeah,
go up.
exactly.
And we, even though we are not looking to get a certain amount of watch hours, it's on our dashboard. And you can definitely tell if your watch hours are picking up or dropping off or, whatever. So I don't even care if I get comments as long as I know that,
Yeah.
they're watching them or whatever.
Well,
But most people will give you a comment here or there or a like or, whatever.
and I changed the mic over. We have purple for Blessed to Crochet and green for Blessings Through Connection because green is the color. It is the main color because green is for growth. We use a lot of trees, so you guys remember that green is for growth and growing those connections. It'll all happen, it'll all take place. We have our little Mustang. Her name is Lizzie, and she's our little connection engine. That can go. We're going to have merch that says, keep those connection engines going with Lizzie on the shirt and the thing on the back. I just haven't had time to do it, but it's all about really trying to get people to come in there and make those connections. And Gail Southern Living has said she's found people through there that she has made connections with. And I really want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure people realize it's not that you have to have a channel that you are growing. You don't have to do that. You can just come in and say, I want to have some connection. I need some connection. I want to find some amazing channels. That's all. You can be a content creator or you can be a viewer. I want them to mesh together. They and do it so that you all kind of get to know each other a little bit. And even if you come in there and say, well, I already know Echo, go over and watch your stuff. There may be a point where we may have to take away everybody from being a mod to having just people drop links, but I really don't want to do that. I want to keep it as long as I can because I really think it's easier to go. And when people come in there, they also need to realize that there's going to be some really busy times and some slow times, only because people are going back and forth between the channels. And again, we're reminding them how to make sure the connections stick. And that's why we're putting our videos through it on top of the song and on top of our theme song, because we just want to make sure that it's really obvious exactly what it is. What's also good too is I'm finding out that if like Blessed Through Crochet is going live, I can use Blessings Through Connection community tab to let people know. So it helps both ways to some degree, and it comes down to the connections. And I remember when I was on Are You Locked In, and he's talked about this, Chip, saying that those two people that you found underneath Blessings Through Connection are warm contacts. We've all remember this within business and all that kind of stuff. They're warm contacts. And so I knew them.
Mm-hmm.
They came into the chat. Echo then met them. They're warm contacts. They're already friends of mine. They're already people that I'm connected with.
Mm-hmm.
So those contacts
Right.
became really easy for her
Mm-hmm.
instead of them being,
And
you know,
I've met other people from both of their lives, because once I started watching their content, then I would get notified when they would go live, and I would pop in their live and say hello, and then somebody else I would meet from that. So I don't need, and I need to start keeping track of that, because I would be interested to know. It's kind of like the old Chinese telephone thing. One person tells one person, that person
exactly.
tells somebody else, and I would love to know, like, how many can off of one connection, like how big it could go out. But yeah, I've met a lot of people by doing that. And I do not stay in one community. I go in all kinds of
Absolutely. Yeah.
communities, but I have a lot of varied interests. But I'm not even I don't even so much go for the content as I go for the person. If I meet a person that I like the person, I'm going to support that person even if I don't particularly like their content or need their content. But if I do like their content, well, that makes it even better because then I will, enjoy watching it. But I don't have to have a connection with the particular kind of content it
Yeah.
is. Now, I have been so welcomed into the diamond painting
Yes.
community. I mean, that has totally blown me away. And that is a huge community, and they're all wonderful, wonderful people. So if you get a chance, don't not go in crafting
Exactly.
channels because you may not craft. I didn't crochet when I started watching Mary. I did not diamond paint when I started watching
Yeah.
Star. Now I'm doing both things. But you never know. I like to color too. And so I've met people in the coloring community that I probably would have never met had I not gone in their channel and been like, okay, I want to, do this too or whatever. Star said, I am always in other lives and wish I had more time watching videos. So I run a lot in the background. Me too, Star. Me too. And I'm bad about, because I have one laptop that sits right next to my recliner. And I'll bring this laptop and I'll have it on one arm of the recliner. I'll have my other one over here. And I'll be like, oh, wait, I got to turn this sound down because that sounds interesting. I want to hear what they're saying. And I'll put that sound
Yeah.
down a little bit and I'll pick up the sound on the other one. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean,
But I love
I don't stay in
watching.
one channel. Or one niche. I go all over the place because it's, I
And I
enjoy it.
don't know if you find it or not, but I find that by going in other people's live streams, it's just like it opens that door. It's like they
Yep.
see you in there a couple of times and then it's like, oh,
Exactly.
okay. And I actually started going to one that I used to go to all the time, and I had not been getting the notifications and I had not been, supporting them. And I found them again, and I've changed my name. So I go in there and they're like, hello, hello, and I'm like, oh, it's me. Let me tell you who I used to be. And they're like, oh, we haven't seen you in so long. And I'm like, yeah. But now that I'm going places in Chloe's channel and in Granny's channel, I'll say it's Echo. It's like it may say Chloe or it may say Granny, but it's really me.
Well, one thing I started doing recently too with our shout outs is I've actually gone into the person's channel and say, just so you know, I gave you a shout out, because I don't think those notifications go out all the time either. And I want them to know that we did give them a shout out. And,
Mm-hmm.
when we go outside, we're doing a lot of the rocking, connecting, and crocheting. You do not need to know how to do a single crochet, how to even hold a crochet hook, how to even make a foundation row. Nothing. We just want to have that calm fountain in the back for as long as I can stand out there, being out there before it gets too cold, letting you all see the fall leaves transforming behind us, because in Florida, I didn't get to see that. And just coming in, and we're giving you your own crochet hook by being able to put hashtag blessed in the chat, and then the way you guys can connect. So we're doing a lot of those. I know it's vertical, but there's no other way to do it. We're doing a lot of those so that people can have their crochet hook to be able to say, okay, I can come in and chat. And we'll sit out there for 2.5 hours. And
the same thing goes for your other crafting kind of channels. A lot of times, they'll just be like, hey, what are you working on?
yeah,
And you can, be working on any kind of craft. It doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you're getting together
exactly.
and you're supporting each each other in a hobby that you find relaxing or comforting or whatever. And you don't necessarily even have to, particularly like their particular craft or whatever. However, I will warn you that if you start watching other people doing things, you may get bit by that
Yes.
bug and you may be like, I want to do it
Yep.
too. And then if you go in the diamond painting community, some of those ladies, they'll just say, what's your address? I'll mail you some supplies. And before you know it, you're going to have everything you need to
I
diamond
have
paint. And you're going to be like,
I have diamond painting. I'm just too busy for it right now. I don't have it. And but I
my daughter said that I have too many hobbies.
I don't think you can have enough
And I'm like,
hobbies, but I can't get to
I'm
the diamond painting
retired.
because I'm busy with the crochet stuff. And
I'm retired. I can have, you know, as many hobbies as I want to have. It
exactly,
doesn't,
you can. And
but
I mean, lately with what is going on with my sciatic nerve, if I can I'm not good with keeping schedules. I just never have been like, this is when you have to do this and this is when you have to do this because I just don't do that. And so I just said to myself, okay, Mary, you can go out and crochet because I could sit for hours crocheting, but
mhm.
you've got to work first. You got to do some stuff for the channel first. But then I go out there and I sit in the rocking chair and I just crochet and I connect with everybody. And it's taken my mind off what's going on with the nerve, that they really can't do anything. They can't do any anything right now with my sciatic nerve. It's just having to work itself out. But if anybody's dealt with it, it can be very, very painful. So I can either sit here saying I'm hurting, which I already am with the fibromyalgia, or sit there and say, let's go out and do something and connect with people and talk with people and have other people come in and connect and help through this thing we call life, because sometimes it can be really hard.
Yeah, and like you said, take your mind off of it because we can
Yeah.
wallow in our own pain and discomfort. And sometimes you just talk to one other person. Hi, Sandy. You can talk to one other person, and then your problems don't look quite so bad, and you're
Exactly.
like, yeah, okay, I can deal with this because
Yeah.
and I like the fact too that I'll meet somebody who tells me that they deal with chronic pain, um, and it's like we have an instant connection. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I've been there. I don't have fibromyalgia, but I've had lots of injuries and I've had back surgery, and I know when you say your sciatica is bothering
Yeah.
you, I know exactly what that feels like. And I think that we need those kind of connections with people
Oh yeah.
so that we don't feel alone, that we're, suffering in silence or whatever. I had
Exactly.
somebody this morning in my exercise video saying, gosh, I needed this today because the rain is making me hurt so
Yeah.
bad. And I'm like,
My
exactly. I don't have a lot of arthritis, but I have enough arthritis that I can tell when it's going to rain. And, it's nice to have people that you can talk to about things like that without feeling like, oh gosh, I'm just complaining over here. And, no, you're just sharing with people what's going
yes.
on with you.
My daughter did something and she tripped it where she works a little bit at a horse barn, and she said, "Oh my goodness." She's kind of experienced a little bit of what I've gone through because she kind of tweaked her back a little bit. And she goes, Mom, I don't know how you do it. And I said, just one day at a time. Not easy, but you keep
Mhm.
going. And I find too that if I can get lost in Canva, and then before you know it, hours gone by, and it's like, oh, I've been messing around in Canva and doing this and doing that. Of course, mom helps. So whatever I do in Canva, if I'm going to be doing it a repeat for both channels, I've got to make it so that it's actually going to be easy for her to kind of duplicate it. She can go in pretty easily and duplicate it. So
Mhm.
I find out that I can get lost in that as well, just like I can with other things. And I if my recommendation, if you're going to have a channel and you still want to what was happening too when I started Blessed to Crochet is that I would put people in that we liked, and the description was like miles long. And I was like, this is not going to work because it's only going to grow. So have another channel that you can send people to, that you can make playlists. But if you're trying to make sure that most of your content on your channel is yours, except for making collaborations, and make it very clear that these are collaborations and there's other people in those collaborations, do
Mm-hmm.
another channel. That way you're still supporting people you really like, putting in things and putting in their videos and so forth, but it's not getting clouded in with all of your things, because then it can be confusing. And I've done it where I'm like, okay, am I really giving them the watch hours, or am I giving somebody else? And I'll walk away thinking, oh, well, then they're not getting it. Someone else is in this playlist. And
Yeah,
it was
I've done that
confusing.
before. I've done that before where they had like half of it was their own videos and half of it was a
Exactly.
collaboration they were in,
Yeah,
but it had, 12 other people in the collaboration, which I don't mind giving them watch time too. But the point is, if it's
yeah,
for a collaboration, let it be a separate and say
exactly.
this is collaborative, and then that way people will know, okay, don't watch that one unless you do want to see, like whatever it was they were making or collaborating on or whatever.
And
And I
then,
do want to say, even though I think Gail was in here earlier, I do want to remind everybody about Fall Fest 25 giveaway coming up. I know
yeah,
Mary's doing it on both her channels. I'm doing
and
it
my
on my
daughter,
channel, and your daughter's doing it, and a few other people that I know are doing it. Norma over at Real Life Happens is doing it again for her second
thank you,
year.
Rudy.
Um, so be on the lookout for those. The videos will start coming out September
Yeah,
29th. And I think we have until October 5th to get all the videos out. And then we'll be doing our semifinalist drawings. And then the grand prize finale is on October 31st. I think 5 p.m. Central,
mm.
6 p.m. Eastern Standard
the
Time.
cr-
But if you need any information about it, contact Gail at Gail's Southern Living. She will be
no,
glad
there's
to
a
have
separate
you. She'll
email.
add you in.
There's a separate it.
Yeah, there is
Yes,
an email, which
I
I know
I can
it.
get it.
Uh, it's Fall Fest 20 Fall Fest giveaway at
Yeah.
yahoo.com, I believe. I don't think it has the year because she wants to be able to use that same email
Fall
over and
Fest
over.
giveaway. Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then Star and Elisa from Stitching It Up, Capturing Country Life, and myself, we're doing the Cozy Fall collaboration, and that runs until November 15th. And you can do any kind of fall video. So your Fall Fest video would also go for that collaboration. If anybody wants to join that, you can do any kind of fall video anytime from September 15th to November
I was
15th.
going to go out and record
So,
mine today, but the rain decided to have other plans. Dang on it.
so if anybody else has any collaborations or lives or premieres and you want them shared out
Yep.
or anything like that, let me know. I will be glad. My community wall is crazy because I constantly am sharing people out when they have whatever going on.
Well,
So
we'll be doing the cookie collaboration. I think I'm going to do that just a little differently. I'm still going to do the shorts on our channel because I like that people could pick the music that they wanted and the songs that they wanted for it. But
mhm.
I think that, you know, I hope the people will be, you know, hopefully making a video with the cookie recipe on their channel as well, because it just seemed like it just kind of landed on ours and it didn't go on. So I have to think about that one a little bit. But or maybe if they do a video, then we'll do whatever. But we're going to do the cookie collaboration, which we did last year, which was a lot of fun. Got a lot of great cookie
Yeah, I
recipe out of
participated
that.
in it. It was fun.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, we do the shoe boxes. We filled 2 shoe boxes last year for Samaritan's Purse. And we have a box started with supplies and so forth to go in for this box. So we already have the supplies starting, and we're hoping to fill
Good.
4 this year. And so we'll be doing some lives, you know, for we I think that we spent like $50 already to fill 4 boxes, until hopefully our community will come together and be willing to donate some more supplies, or um, send a little bit towards it. We do have an Amazon wish list on our link tree, so that's another way people can send us supplies that we can go ahead and put in the boxes. We want to grow so that every year we're doing more. I've also wanted to do something called blessing boxes. And there's a lady in our chat who is dealing with stage 4 liver and lung, or that was my aunt. She has stage 4 cancer, and she is actually doing hats for veterans. So the leftover yarn that I got done with Misha's blanket is actually going to go to hers. I had leftover yarn and some other yarn, and I'm going to be sending her a blessing box along with a hat so that she can further what she's trying to do for the veterans, and trying to do the hats, which I think is just amazing. So we've got all those happening in the works and so forth. And it was so neat when I was able to show the video, the music that I made for that blanket, and someone in our Suno thinks that blanket was a work of art. And I gave it a
Yeah.
hug before
It
it
was
sent
beautiful.
out. And
Yeah.
she'll be getting it on Friday. So big hugs to Misha for sure.
Okay. Handcrafted by Jackie says that she's live Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Deborah from Harrowbed's Thoughts
Yeah.
Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I made myself a note, ladies, and I'll start sharing out your lives on my community wall. And also, if anybody has like a set day, like these two ladies have pretty much a set schedule, I have pretty much a set schedule, let me know, because I'll be glad to share that out for y'all. And I watch Star and KY Philly, and for the longest time, because they're on different time
Yeah.
zones, I didn't know when the heck their lives were, and I would be like looking for it, and by the time I would find it, it would be over. And I would be like, I missed it again. So I finally asked him, I was like, I'm Eastern time. What time do y'all go live for me? And let me write down what days it
Yeah.
is so that I can try to at least, pop in if I want to pop in. So if you let me know, I will definitely try to help y'all out with that. And I like to watch both of y'all's content, so that'll be easy for me to remember. And Handcrafted with Jackie, she does a lot of different crafts, a lot of different things. So you never really know what you're gonna, what she's gonna be working on. Star said the blanket is absolutely beautiful, and the song was so very touching, Mary.
Yeah, it was
It
just it
was.
was
It
labor of love.
very, very
Well,
nice.
Misha's daughter was named Christina, and mine is too. So we have a very special bond, the two of us,
Yeah.
and it was a pleasure to do it. And I just really I, I hope people get the concept, and I know that we have a community out there in this world. It's not all in the YouTube streets. I get it. But there's people that are going through stuff like I am. Like today was not a day I really could have handled going out. And so when I can't go out and I can't do the things that I would love to do because of pain, I know I can get into my YouTube community. And there's people that I know I can come in and say, okay, people know who I am. And it's amazing. And I feel like I get accepted for who this girl is, just as she is. And I just really hope people understand what we have here. We have I mean, there's some not so good things about YouTube, but there's a lot of good in this, and there's a lot of good, like Echo's channel and this channel and Blessing or Blessed to Crochet and Blessings through Connection. There's a lot of good, and there's a lot of really great friendships. I have sisters that I never I my mom's I'm an only child. My mom's not going to have any other children. And yeah, I have a sister in Texas who has a son who has autism. She's one of my mods. And we just like bonded. And I have a sister over in Australia that was a key for me during times I really, really struggled. And I have brothers, and it's an amazing place that you can go, and there's just so many wonderful communities and so many friends and so many crossovers that a place like Blessings Through Connection and what we're doing over at Blessed to Crochet, which I debated about allowing people to put in their links, but I just allowed people to do it, and I'm hoping that it's going to grow and people will realize what a treasure they have in that is that they can do that. They can come in and they can make all these wonderful connections. And I don't necessarily have a set schedule. I'm going to be doing more of trying to set it, but I would have set it for 6 o'clock tonight. And of course, it would have poured and rained. It wouldn't have worked, but I'm going to try. But I do have fibromyalgia, so it does sometimes where I just really, like, I knew I was really kind of struggling today. So all I knew I could do is handling this live tonight. I couldn't handle another one. And we tried to Blessings Through Connections to do it at least 3 or 4 times a week. When we go in, we try to set it for the entire week. I haven't set any, but I'm going to set some tomorrow. And then that way people know when they're coming. And we try to make them different times. They're not the same time. Sometimes we'll do a Saturday at 2:30 if we have nothing busy. Sometimes we'll do a 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so that people that maybe can't always come in at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, we may make it at 8 o'clock. We may make it at 6 o'clock. They can come in and have those connections being taken place. And so that's what we want to be able to do on both of them. Both of them focus on connection. Blessings Through Connection is just really, you're not going to find recipes there. You're not going to find devotions. You're not going to find any of the stuff you do on Blessed to Crochet, because we really want to be like the horses with the blinders on. We really want to focus on connection over there.
Okay, Star, I've already got you and Sherry, and Reverend Dream does the Suno Warriors at 5 p.m. Sunday Mountain Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, last night was my first time involved with that, and I had a total blast. Everybody's song was so nice. They give you a couple of Bible verses and a couple of words, and then you create the song based off of that. And then you email them the song. He plays everybody's song, and then the audience votes for the winner. So it was really fun. So I encourage everybody to tune in on Sunday evenings to watch that. And if you like doing stuff with Suno, hit Star up, because Star's who I get my information from. So you can find out from Star the words and the verses each week,
Yeah.
and then you can make your songs from there. But that was really fun. I really enjoyed myself last night. So that's something I do. Suno showcase one Saturday night a month. But ours is not necessarily based on anything. The song can be anything, and anybody can share in that. So it's a lot of fun too, though.
If you want me to share real quick, I have it loaded up. I have the YouTube shuffle for Blessings Through Connection if you want me to roll it.
Okay, go right ahead.
It's only like a minute long. Okay. I just have to, I've gotten good at this now.
I know everybody, the first time they're like, I do what? And then afterwards they're like, okay, I can share my song, no problem.
Okay, here we go.
Like, yeah, it's not hard. not hard once you get the hang of how you do it. And if I can get my mouse to work, there we go. No, yep. Okay.
I'll restart it again.
Oh,
Now. Did it work?
I don't hear it. Did you click the sound thingy?
Are we back to that again? Let
Okay.
me, let me do it again.
Well,
I stopped it for a second and we'll
okay.
go back and see if we can do this again.
Okay.
Shares audio.
Yes, Deborah, it was a lot of fun. I'm kind of shy about stuff like that because I didn't really know if I was in the right idea or whatever, but it was
Everybody hear it now?
You to shuffle. Connection to the right. Connection to the left. Make a comment. Make a connection. Keep those connections engines going and hit the connection button. You to shuffle. Connection to the right. Connection to the left. Make a comment. Make a connection. Keep those connections engines going and hit the connection button.
First, we got the car. But
cute.
anyway, that is, yeah, that was all through Suno. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
that
play
is
that
really
and
cute.
we play the the recaps, which are out now. Those come out every night or every Monday at 8 p.m. And
Okay.
yes, I listen to my body. When it says rest, it says rest.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And
Definitely.
I don't know if we can this Saturday in our local area. Dog the Bounty Hunter is going to be actually at a local place. We're going to try to go see if we can meet him. That'd be awesome.
Cool. That would be cool.
My daughter's
I was
like,
just gonna
I want to go. I've never met a star before.
well, I was just gonna say that, a lot of people are, they're like, I don't know what to do for content. I don't know. Take us places. That is one of the
Yes.
most fun things that not everybody has all the same kind of things or where they live. And
Yep.
like Miss Daisy May, she'll go down to the beach. I love the water and I love when she does a stream from the beach. And the source too in Hawaii, that just makes me jealous because I'm like, I want to live in Hawaii. But
Exactly.
if you're going to go somewhere and you can, video it or whatever, do it and share it with us because that's what I like to watch. I mean, I like to watch a lot of things, but if somebody goes somewhere and does something that I can't maybe go and do, but I would love to be able to do it,
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy that. And I know you got to see the Clydesdale horses, and
Yes.
that would have been right up my like, yeah, I'll go.
They were
I
amazing.
love
They were
horses,
amazing.
and
Yeah. So
I
was
watched
Christina.
them.
She was in.
This one, and I don't know the channel, and I apologize because I would tell y'all the channel if I could remember what it was. But she has a horse rescue
I've
sanctuary
seen
type
them
place,
too.
and when there's a horse that is going to be put down because of whatever reason, she will get the horse, and she's a horse trainer, and she will turn that horse around And she has got some of the most beautiful horses, and she shows you before, when she got the horse and then what the horse is capable of. And it is amazing. And I thoroughly enjoy watching that. My daughter was like, "That's all you did today was sit there and watch horse videos?" And I'm like, "But you got to see these
Yep.
horses." I mean, I like the dog rescue videos too, but I especially like the horse videos.
Exactly. Well, we got to see
Oh, Ruby,
we got to meet Champ. He was at we the thing. He was amazing. He was absolutely beautiful. He was a Clydesdale horse, and he gave me
yes,
kisses.
I would have loved that.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely loved that. And I know you said in the video that you had to walk quite a ways to get that picture with your daughter and the horse,
Oh
but
my
that it was
goodness.
worth it. And I would be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I would have done that too, because I mean, she may never get that opportunity again,
Exactly.
So by having the picture, and this is something when I was younger, I always thought, work hard, accumulate things, but we never really took a lot of vacations. We never really did a lot of things, outside of working. And now I encourage my daughter. It's like, take your daughter and go and do things. Don't worry so much about accumulating things, but make those memories. Get the pictures, because when they're
Yep.
older and they can't remember everything that you did with them, but when you have pictures, and they can look at those pictures and be like, oh, I remember doing that. That's what's the good stuff in life. Having stuff, like my daughter says, get rid of your stuff, mama. I don't want your stuff. When you're gone, I don't want none of your stuff. It's like, exactly. Don't leave them a bunch of junk that they don't really want. Leave them with memories that nothing will take
Well,
away,
like
can take
this
away.
one here, I did. This was at Mount G's. I've shared my screen. I don't know if I can put it up here.
Deborah, I would watch that channel.
Can you see echo this one? I just shared the screen, but I just did
Uh
this.
huh.
This is at Mount
Yeah.
G's.
Hold on one.
It's a lookout that we have in our area,
There we go.
and it's absolutely stunning to watch it. I just took the short and I just made it time lapse. That's all I did with it. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I just sat there and took a picture of it time
Mm-hmm.
lapsing. And it was a
That
beautiful.
sky, it
Yep.
is the when I worked in real estate, they always will have a picture of the property or whatever, and they retouch the sky
Yeah.
to make the sky look beautiful. And I would always say, I want that sky
Yeah.
that is so perfectly beautiful. And you hardly ever see it, but that sky right there, almost
Yeah.
perfect sky color.
And I'm going to be actually going to
That was
Mount G's to record the Blessings Through Connection fall video. I'm going to do the one by the fountain here,
oh
but
good.
hopefully it won't rain tomorrow and I can go do it, but it was not going to happen tonight. It was too rainy.
We have Tia from Boldly Unshackled and Lashana from Lashana Success. Welcome, ladies, very much. So good to see both of you. We've been talking tonight about connections and growing your channel. Lashana knows a lot about that. She is growing her channel fabulously. And if y'all aren't connected with these channels, please take a look at them, see if you'll like them. That's why I give everybody a wrench in my
Yep.
channel so that you can connect to each other easily. Now, I said everyone, but every once in a while I'll look at a channel and I'll be like, I'm going to wait you know, till I can go and really check it out. But 9 times out of 10, the people that come in my live streams, I've already met them somewhere
Yeah.
else. So I recognize the name and I'm like, oh, yeah, they're
Yeah.
good. I can give them a
Yeah,
ring, you know.
exactly. Well, like we
So,
said, we may have
yeah.
down the road, we may have to change that. I just really hope people will come into Blessings Through Connection and Bless to Crochet. I know it says crochet, but we crochet connection. No crochet hook is required. And here's another thing that I want to say too, is there's power behind the connection. But realize if you're sitting there thinking to myself, well, there's X amount of crochet channels, there's X amount of this channel or that channel. Guess what? There's only one you. There's only one me. There can be 20 other Blessed to Crochet channels, but there's only one me. And I'm the same person. I'm sure Echo can verify that as I can verify that for her. I'm the same person on or
Yep.
off the camera. I've got a huge heart
Right.
for people. I've got a huge heart for connection. It's part of my personality. I want to bring everybody together. I want to connect everybody. I spent a lot of time and a lot of years of my life thinking nobody wanted to be my friend. I was too sensitive. I talk a lot. I've got a big personality, and so forth and so on. And I've now said that tape was in the trash because I've got a lot of wonderful friends that helped me through very difficult times. And when my aunt was no longer, when she was really, when chemo was no longer working, and she couldn't do the things she needed to do, and she knew that her time was limited, it was my community that came together to bring my aunt up here for that one last hug. We got to see her in August. You couldn't tell that this woman had stage 4 liver and lung cancer, but she came up here. People came together. People donated airline miles and funds for her to have that plane ticket in order to come up here. We spent a wonderful week with her, and she went home 3 weeks later. She got sick with a cold. She would have never been able to come back up here again. And in March, she went to be with the Lord. And so if people don't realize what a community can do, what connection can do, and I get the connection out of it, my mother gets the revenue out of it. She's the kind of woman, she said, I've been holding off on getting shoes, pair of new sneakers for months. And I'm just so glad when she gets that. Even it may take us a little while to get to the $100 threshold that they have, but she was able to do it very recently and be able to get a new pair of shoes, 2 of them. I found a great deal, and they'll be here tomorrow. 2 pair of shoes, because she's on a fixed income. So when she can do things like that, that makes my heart happy, because I know that the money goes to her, even if it's just $100. Mom, pay a bill, get some extra supplies that you need, get a new pair of shoes, do whatever you need to do, because she took care of my dad with dementia for 7 years. And so if I can do that, and the revenue income, whether it's ad revenue, memberships, super chats, whatever it is, goes to her, it makes this heart very happy. I need the connection. That's what I need. And for someone too, that I think too, when you get into a place where you're like, I never thought at my age I would sit here going, I can't work. I can't work, because I have my days
Mm-hmm.
where, like this afternoon for 2 hours, I started with what's kind of considered like pain chills, and my whole body will just sit there shaking for like an hour.
Yeah.
And it's very painful. It's just, you're just in so much pain, and I've got to get under covers, under blankets, and stop moving. I'm like, how can you work? You can't work when you never know when those are going to hit. You never know when the migraine's going to hit. But I can help her do this and feel like I'm doing something other than just sitting there going, I'm hurting. I feel like I have a purpose. And even if it's just to bring
Yeah.
people together, or, comfort, I can never bring Misha's daughter back, and I wish I could, but I can certainly give her a blanket so that when she's just really having a rough time, she can wrap herself up in that blanket, knowing that there was a lot of
Right.
love behind it. So, you know,
And
it's
those kind of things you can't buy, you know. That's something that's a gift from one heart to another, and that's
exactly.
can't put a price on
Yeah.
something like that, you know.
And we're
And she is a great person,
yes.
and I love her to death. And she has had a hard way to
Yes,
go.
she has.
And anything that can bring her even a few minutes of comfort is well worth it. She's been coming over to Boldly Unshackled's Morning Motivations, um, and she'll text me afterwards, and she's like, "I needed
Yeah.
that so bad,"
I
you know,
just got done with
and it
this
just
one.
makes me.
And we did this one outside. I would take this outside, and we worked on this one while we sat in my rocking chair with everybody. And I love doing these type of blankets because they've got the bobble stitch, which you can see the words on it and everything. If I did it, it would be huge.
Oh, and what does it
It
say?
says God is good all the time. And there is a woman.
Oh, that.
There's actually a woman in our church. We don't have a pastor, but our visiting pastor, his wife, she has multiple sclerosis. And so
Oh, okay.
the church came together to have enough so they could help me with the yarn so I could do this. So I'm lovingly
Wow.
called the blanket lady of church.
Beautiful.
So I did this one because I do blanket
Well, it
products.
could be worse. You could be the bag
Yeah,
lady. At least
I mean
it's
it's
the
got the hearts
blanket
going
lady.
down. So I did this one and I'll be giving that to
Mhm.
her. We're working on the lighthouse one right now as we're sitting outside. And I'm just so thankful for it. I'm thankful I can do this. And it's one thing that I even say to people, and if anybody's, ever would like to reach out to us, we will do blankets. If anybody would like to have a blanket done, that we could work something out. But I've said to people, to look at it this way. If you're thinking about getting a gift for a daughter or a granddaughter, think about maybe doing something like this. Doesn't have to be me, but maybe reach out to somebody else and do that, because they may get toasters and all that kind of stuff, but maybe both sets of grandparents can come together and get a blanket done like this. Guess what? It's going to go a lot further. Or the two sets of parents come together, or the aunts and uncles. Maybe there's 3 or 4 aunts and uncles. They all come together and do a blanket. You know how much more that's going to mean as a
Mhm.
family coming together and to do it. So
And it's a one of a kind
yeah,
thing.
we can put people.
No, though nobody else will
Yeah,
have that.
we
You
can
know.
put people's names on them, dates, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I can do all that through what I've done with this, and I stay on track. I don't like deviate off the. Seems to be when I do any other blanket,
And
blanket grows this way. you know.
well, I remember when you and I first met, you were showing the temperature blanket
Yes.
that you made for your daughter. Talk about that,
Ooh,
how those come
well, I
together.
don't do too many of those. I really focus
I
on
know.
those because
They take a lot,
I
don't they?
did one other for someone else, and I thought I'm never doing this again. It was pretty much one and done. I did it. I was thankful I got to do it, but that one was 365 rows plus 12 in the middle of it, and that was literally a temperature change for every day. So whatever yarn I had was changed, and it actually is pretty amazing because on her couch when it's on there and it's so bright and it's so she has it she my daughter put it on the back of her
Mhm.
couch, but I we have a gentleman in our church, and he commissioned me, and of course I just said, buy me the yarn. I'm happy to just have the yarn bought. You know what I mean? Just I'm thrilled to death. Just buy the yarn. And I said, you buy the yarn. And I said, give the rest of it to my mother. And of course I gave him a special because he was a church member. He commissioned 5 blankets for me to do. I got them done in
Wow.
about a month and a half per blanket. But I was like, okay. And he's got another grandchild coming. He's like, you know what's coming down the road? I'm like, so I'm literally like, okay. But I love doing them. I absolutely it makes my heart happy when they're when I can do them and they can really I love doing them. It makes my heart very happy to do it.
Yeah. And it's not something everybody can do,
No.
you know. It is a talent. So um, be thankful that you have
Oh, I'm
that.
extremely thankful, and I think that this specific one I couldn't have done when I first started. It's only been something, and I eventually want to be in a position where we actually do our own patterns. That's what I'd like to get to the point of doing, but I'm learning how to do that. Trying to learn how to do that.
I was gonna say that's what's hard. I mean, I can't even look at the pattern and figure out what to do, but to be able to create your own
Yeah,
pattern, that's got to be work.
it is. And I have to learn
Definitely got to be some
I have to
work.
learn how to do that. But I'll get there one by one, and it's I enjoy doing them, and I enjoy going outside and sitting there and not really having a topic, just coming and saying, let's just chat like we're in my backyard, And I
Hmm.
did put
Sometimes the best conversations come out of having nothing to
exactly.
talk about, and it just starts
Yep.
and it has a mind of its own. I've had several live streams like that, and the people are like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm like, I don't know. We're going to talk about whatever we
Yeah.
get to talking about. And usually it's not anything we thought we were
No.
going to talk about. But if something comes up and it spark something in somebody in the chat, and that starts a conversation, and somebody else is interested in that conversation, before you know it, you've got so many stories going back and forth, between everybody in the chat. It's like, yeah, I don't know what the topic was, but this is interesting what we're talking about.
And I did put my
Yeah.
Suno.
I mean, I think it's great, to have questions and do like an actual interview. I think that's great. That has its
Yeah.
place too. But I like to just talk to people sometimes
Yeah,
too.
and I did put my Suno
You know.
list just in your channel. People want to go check it out. We just put out a new song.
Oh,
We put the
cool,
full song out from our
cool.
quote Mondays, and we put it in the chat. And so, or we made it into a video. I really like the song. They're really cool. And
Yeah, I love,
I
what you had said earlier about, some people, and I kind of was like that too when AI
yeah,
first came out. I was like, I don't know. I don't know about it because I didn't know about it. And that's the thing. You have to get educated about what it really is, what it can actually
well,
do. And you are still in charge of it.
yeah,
You're telling it what you want it to do. And whatever it comes up with, you don't have to accept that. You can make changes and edits and do whatever you want to. So it's still your
yeah.
creation. It's just computer aided, so that you're not sitting there having to. Can you imagine how long it would take us to do it if we didn't have the AI part of
Did you
it?
see the one I
You
did
know,
with the baby? Did you see my ones that I had done with the baby?
I'm not sure if I did or
Oh, those
not.
are so funny. It took. I mean, I'm
Oh, wait. And Christina has
yes, and
one
then I
on her
no,
channel.
I did it on both of mine. I did one of hers, but I also did one of that of me.
But I saw the one of her as a baby
Yes,
talking about, yeah,
and then
yeah, I saw
you
that one.
saw that
I don't
one,
know if I saw the other ones, but I do remember that one.
and then I am going to be
Yeah,
doing more of those because that's a great way too of getting more of your if going back and getting your content going and getting your content like back out there again because you can reuse some of your content. I'll share the screen
yes.
so people can see it. You can go back to your old
Okay.
stuff and use the content. I can't remember. I think I put it in the description in the video. If not, I will. But I shared my screen so people can see it. This is the one I did. And I want to do more of these because this was so much fun. And when you get discouraged, don't be quiet about it. But that's when I think we need to speak up. I've got to be able to tell people I'm struggling and I'm discouraged a little bit about something, because that's when people can speak up and say, let me encourage you.
Help is on the way, dear! Help is on the way!
That was the one I did of,
No, so cute.
and that was done by AI. And all I did was tell Chat GPT to make a picture of me as a baby in the studio with that crocheted outfit I did. And Sandy saw it, and she said she cracked up in when she saw it, and she was in a library when she saw it. She said she absolutely lost it. And they took it into, I think it's HEDRA, something like that. And I actually have to go in and like sign up for their subscription, but I want to make more. But that's using AI, but it's also reusing your content in a really neat way, and being able to tag the video in it, but it's using it responsibly. I think that we need to use responsibly. When we start putting things out there that did not happen to fool people, I think it's different. But I think using it like we're using it with the songs and, being cute. Like I even went to my mother yesterday when I said, I don't know about this idea. And I read her the Bible verse, and I read her I played her the song. She goes, I think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful song. But that was taking a Bible verse, putting it in and seeing what it created. Now I did with the second Bible verse have to go into Chat GPT and say, okay, now we got to do something, because I didn't like the way it was wording. But I think we have to be careful that we're not putting things in that look real that aren't. Does it make sense?
Oh yeah, and I like have a thing in my description that says images and music, created by AI, because I don't want anybody to ever, misconstrue that.
It's like the one I did with the horse, the Back in the Saddle, that song that came out so awesome on Suno. And I had myself riding in a horse. I made sure that in the description of that short, I said, Mary riding on the horse was done through AI. The rest of it, all of the pictures and video of Christina actually riding, is her actually riding. This is real video. And I think you need to be responsible when you're doing stuff like that. My daughter's like, Mom, I don't think I could ever unsee you. It was fun to have me on the horse, but I wanted people to realize this really isn't me. It's just a picture of me. And I went to Chat GPT and said, put me on a horse, ride me on a beach, and that, put me riding on a beach and so forth. But I made it very clear that the rest of the images were all Christina's real pictures of her riding and real pictures of her actually riding in video. And I thought, I can't do this whole thing. I thought about that song, and I'm like, I've got to change this. I've got to add video of her actually riding. It can't just be me riding that horse the entire 2.5 minutes to the entire song. Because I like that Suno creates a little video, but for me, it's kind of like, it's, when we do the Bible verses, I've had to use them because otherwise I will be here forever trying to create a shorter video. But like the one I did for the autumn song, I actually took that and put that in with autumn leaves behind it to make it a little nicer. But, I just think we need to be responsible when we're using AI. But I think it can be a lot of fun. And I think it's a great way to reuse content.
And I think it's growing and changing.
Yeah.
Because even a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I had somebody make me some images with the AI that I was going to use, like for thumbnails or whatever. And just the quality of what was available then to what is available now is just crazy that what they've come up with now. So it really is something. But I think a lot of people, especially people my age, we didn't grow up with
Yeah.
computers in our homes. We may have had a job where we had to use a computer, but we definitely didn't use computers in school and things like that. And so it's a little, yeah, I don't know about it. But I think if we don't want to be left behind, we have to learn how to do the technology and move forward with it. I'm thankful I have a pretty young daughter who I can say, "Hey, how do I do this?" Or how, help me with my phone. I'm trying to do this and I don't know how to do it or whatever. Um, and of course, she'll give me a hard time, and I'm like, "Look, I taught you how to use a spoon.
Yeah.
You can teach me to use my phone."
Well, and two, I think that having the music is a way of expressing yourself and expressing how you're feeling and so forth, and it can be used in the correct manner. Um, and I've gotten better and better at Suno the more and more I do it. And uh, Sandra with Poetic Tears has said that she's trying to figure out how to be able to use some of the Suno music on like Spotify and Apple and stuff for people to get like extra, you know, uh, you know, revenue as well from the use of those songs. And the one where I did the Back in the Saddle one, Seventh said to me, he said, I expect that to be on the radio. He said, it's that good. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome for it to actually be good enough that we could put them on like that kind of thing eventually. I'd love to see that. That'd be the first one I put up is that one.
Well, and I was introduced to Suno in beginning of January, so 9 months ago.
Yeah,
And what you could do then to what you can do
absolutely.
now, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just amazed at how it's
yeah.
come along. And the music part
It's
of
getting
it,
better.
to me, is getting, and not only is it getting better, but they are adding, there's
Yeah,
more duets and more, like the song that I did for the Suno Warrior thing. I wanted it to be like a choir, and there's a man singing, but then it gets to a certain point, and then it is a
yeah.
choir singing for a couple of lines. And it was just amazing that it could even do
Well,
that,
and
you
it did
know?
it on the Bible verse I did for the next Bible verse to come out. It actually did it. And I was like, man, verse singing and then the woman sings. And I was like, it came out really awesome. And then
Hmm.
I think the one I did for the autumn, it was like there was a saxophone someplace in it. I'm like, I never asked for it, but it turned out awesome to have that actually be played. So I think it can really, really be used. It can really be used well. And, um, you know, I'm thankful that, I said to everybody I know on both our weekly recaps, people may get sick to death of our theme songs because that's what we use for the weekly recaps. But I really want people to pay attention to the theme song for Blessing Through Connection because it speaks to it like it was like made for that channel. It's exactly
Hmm.
what it is. We're here to help each other. We're here to help each other grow. And the more you guys are participating in chats, connecting with people in the chats itself, watching the replays, commenting, the further the channels are going to grow. Because YouTube will sit there and say, oh, it's an active chat. We're going to push this out further.
Hmm.
And
That's something that I didn't ever look at on the analytics, that it actually has it broken
yeah,
down, like, how do people find your
yeah,
content? And there's actually a section, was it uh, what's it called? Like
yeah,
up next kind of thing, when a video finishes and then it recommends another video to you, things like that. And so even though sometimes it's like, okay, YouTube, do you know I exist? Because I don't feel like I'm getting out there.
Yeah.
But then other times it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you are helping me. Okay, cool.
Exactly. And
But
here's just another trick, and I learned this from Tuber Chat. If you're going to share something, share it from your playlist. So if I have a Suno song, I'm going to go to my Suno playlist, and I'm going to like the one for the autumn one that I did and just put out. I'm going to go ahead and share that from my Suno playlist, not from the actual video. I'm going to go to the one I have as the playlist, because then what's going to happen is when they get done with that, then YouTube will take the next one in the playlist and play it for them, and then the next one and the next one. So they may sit there and binge watch several in your playlist, which will help you. So if you're going to share from your playlist, not from the actual one. And that was something that Kevin from Tuber Chat said. And I was on.
yeah, and I've done that.
I was.
I was gonna say I did that for BJ. He has because he's deaf, but yet he writes music or does music, and so he has a music playlist, and that's what we did is I shared the whole playlist. I think he only has like 4 songs on it, but still, then people can play the playlist, and it's gonna go ahead and play more songs.
Yes, but if you go to the actual playlist and find the video and share it from the playlist, not the entire playlist, just that video, then YouTube will do it automatically, naturally.
Yeah.
And, it's like I went on Lewis Acre Karma, and she was the one that said, I said, well, we're not really crocheting. And she said, yes, you are. You're Crocheting Connection. And it was because of her that we came up with that. And that was just from coming together and collaborating with somebody, because I never thought of it that way. And it is true. We are Crocheting Connection. And it makes a difference. 100% it makes a difference.
And I don't know about you, but with me, I can say, gee, I would like to have this or that, or gee, I wish I knew how to make this. And somebody will hear that comment, and next thing you know, they're like, well, I could help you figure out how to do that, or send me a picture and I can make, like I have my, for Chloe, I have a little cartoon Chloe now. And it was like, BJ was like, send me a picture of her and I'll see what I can come up with, But it's like, people are so talented and so willing to help you, and I've never had that before. So I have just met so many great people who just are more than happy to help do whatever they can do to help anybody, And it's just amazing to me. When I first came to YouTube, I never thought I would ever call anybody a friend that I met on YouTube,
Exactly.
And because I've never even been on Facebook, I never had been in a chat room. I didn't know anything about social media. I was like a social media virgin. I didn't know anything, and I came on YouTube, and now it's like I have people all over the world that I could pick up the phone and call them and be like, "Hey, I need your help. Can you help me do whatever?" And they would do it. But I never thought that would happen. Never in my wildest dreams. And that's why when my daughter's makes fun of my YouTube, I'm like, don't you talk about my YouTube family like that.
Very
it's
protective,
very,
right?
very important. It's like, and sometimes she'll tease me like, oh, who are you talking to? And it's like, I'm talking to my friend. And my little granddaughter, she knows Granny talks to her friends on the computer, and she'll say, who is this one? What is this one's name? It's like, Granny's got friends on the computer.
It's an awesome.
Hey, Christine.
It's awesome connection. Hi, Christina. That's my kid.
It is. It's totally amazing to me how I've met, the people that I've met. It's
Yeah.
just amazing. I
It's amazing.
never.
It's
I
just,
mean, my friend Norma, she was the one that got me even thinking about trying to do a channel. We met in a true crime chat room, true crime content creators chat room, and it was like we became fast friends. And then she's like, well, I kind of want to do a crafting channel. And I'm like, I know
yeah.
nothing, but I will help you figure it out. We'll learn
Oh,
it together. And she didn't want to be on camera. And back then, you didn't see all these faceless channels. It was like you pretty well. I told her, no, you have to be on camera. If you want to do a channel, you have to be on the camera. So both of us, shy, nervous, didn't want to put our faces out there, and yet we
yeah.
did, you know. So it's really weird how things just.
Well, and
Um,
that's one of the reasons we didn't. I know that may be changing as far as how YouTube does faceless total channels. That's one of the reasons why throughout the coming clips, you see us pop in with little things. And we're going to be adding more to that to remind you about
mhm.
this or that, because that way there's a face there. It's not just totally just a calm, except when we do our calming blessing streams, which we turn off the chat so that I can just run it for 6 to 8 hours and let it go. And then I don't have to really monitor anything. But that's why we have
Right.
those in there so that people can still have a face to connect with a little bit. I think they need that. But I just love seeing when the chat goes. And it's a work in progress, and it'll get there. And I hope people realize what they have. If they can just say, okay, I can spend a little bit of time and make those connections, because I'm, I'm not saying it's an instant way of growing a channel, but you can't have it without it. You can't grow a channel without the connection part. It won't happen.
No. No, you got to have people that are willing to support you and watch you, and you've got to do it in return for them. And I don't know. I mean, I think even if I liked a channel and I never felt like I had any interaction with them, I don't know that I would continue watching them. You know, Hyman over Miami, I kind of like that personal connection with another
Yeah,
person.
exactly.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know if and I don't know that YouTube will continue doing the faceless stuff.
Yeah.
They may eventually say, yeah, you got to put your face on there, or they may not. I don't know how that'll go.
That's why we put the videos in. And then what'll be nice once we get the kind of, 30 to 45 minute little, getting to know you videos and interviews, is that we can take clips of those and put them in there. So now
Yeah,
that's another way of letting people see the channels. And
that's a
yeah,
really good idea.
so
That is a really good
it's like,
idea.
we'll give you a playlist over there, but we're asking for a little bit of your time to make that.
But you're asking for it, but in
Yes,
return, they're going to get value out of
exactly.
it because anybody that comes in there has got the potential of
Yeah.
seeing that. So yeah, that's that's a really good idea. I like that idea. That's a
If
really
anybody
good
does it, I
idea.
came up with it first.
And I think well, no, yeah, I'm not going to steal it,
Oh, I
but I'm
know.
just saying I like that. I think that's a
Yeah.
really good idea. Um, and you've got to be a little bit creative
Yeah.
to try to make it be a little different than what everybody
Yeah,
else
because
is doing.
everybody does it
Um,
differently, but I wanted to step outside of the box. And like Gail said, I really like the way you do it, because it's not like everybody else is kind of doing a grow and connect channel, you know? And we want to be a little different and
mm,
kind of stand out from the crowd a little bit. And like it was,
yeah,
our logo was done by Alfonso, and he does lives, and he has, of course, he has appeared, he has difficulty seeing. So I go in and help him with that, and he does stuff for us, and we kind of connect back and forth. And sometimes if he just needs a like a big sister, he can call me up and talk to me, and we help each other, and that's really a good thing to have.
Mhm.
And that's what this is all about. It's all about the connection. It's all about coming together. And if you all are sitting there thinking, I can't send super chats, I can't do this, that's fine. Go and watch their content. It does make a difference. It does. They get a little
Mhm.
bit. They don't get a ton, but they get a little bit. Let those ads run. It was one of the things that was on that article that I did a little thing on. Is they said a lot of times if they're investing into somebody's invested into a YouTube community, they will often allow the ads to run. Why? Because they want to help to support that person. And then they
Mhm.
also have the hype. Did you see that recently? The hype thing?
Yeah,
That's
and
another thing that you can do.
I can't remember I think it's Snapback, maybe if I'm not mistaken, that just did a video about what that all is and what it does. I've seen it on my, pop up for me to hype somebody, and I've done it, but I didn't know exactly,
Yeah.
you know, what it does. Supposedly, it's supposed to help push you
Yeah.
out. If somebody gives you those points, it'll help
We
push
had
that video out.
Chips with Are You Locked In? We had his
Hmm.
interview that I did with him, and it was hyped. And overnight, we got 20 extra views on that. So it made a little bit of a difference. It didn't get into the leaderboard, but I think it had 60,000 worth of hype points. So hype if you got it, you have to do it on a phone, swipe it over, give them a hype. It can't be on any live, it can't be on any short, it has to be on video. And go ahead and do that. And that helps too as well. You all have channels. If you really are liking somebody, take their stuff and share it on your community tab. Share it on your Facebook channel, or not channel, Facebook page. You have the power too, as a viewer, to support your person that you really like, or channels that you're seeing are doing good stuff and good content, or people like Blessed Crochet that are just trying to get to the milestone by the end of the year. you know, to be able put them out. I just want to. I know it's not about the numbers, but to some degree, it's kind of like that's just a goal. We all have goals, and it's like
Yeah.
that's just a goal. I'd like to see that because I'm done with the dancing back from 1916 to 1920, 1923, and back to 1920, and I'm like, just get over the hill. I know I can see it. I just want to get over the hill. you know? But you guys have the power too to push them out and help them, because like I said, you never know where that maybe it's just $100 a month, but it makes, when my mom gets it, she doesn't get it every month, it makes a little difference in her life. It when Echo gets it, I'm sure it does help for her. And it doesn't always come from the super chats and everything. Sometimes it's just coming from people rewatching your stuff.
Yeah. And one thing too to think about, you may think, well, I'm only one person. What can I do? One person. But if you share out
Yeah.
somebody's video and one other person watches it that hadn't known about that
Yeah.
person or known about that channel, then they start watching it. And then if, it's like a domino
Exactly.
effect. It only takes that one little bit, that one person can do,
Yeah.
and it can just start the ball rolling, And I mean, we all have time to watch a 3-minute
Yeah.
video here and there. Well, I wanted to ask you, what is your opinion about doing the shorts? I've heard some creators say don't have shorts because people will come to your channel and they'll watch a short, but they won't watch a longer video. And then I've heard other people say, no, the short kind of drives more traffic to your channel. What's your opinion on that?
I think that when you're building your content, and you're trying to build your watch hours, you need to focus on your long form content, lives, and your your premieres and all that kind of stuff. Anything to gain those. Understand watch or shorts
Mhm.
are not given the same way. But at the same time,
Mhm.
there is a short, and I did nothing fancy with it. It was an 8-second short when we first got the channel. We first started thinking about doing this. It was an 8-second channel or 8-second short. It was put on the channel. We had 50 viewers. Overnight, I had 100 new subscribers. It was done with
Mhm.
Mocha just sitting there tilting her head like this, as the staffies do. And I said hello. And I had just
Mhm.
filmed it for my aunt, not the aunt that passed away, another aunt that was coming to visit so she could see what Mocha looked like. And I was doing that. I said, "Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Mocha." And she tilted her head. And I made it, child friendly because I didn't know what I was doing. 10,000 views later. It is a top one on our channel. So,
Wow.
you never know. I mean, I enjoy doing shorts. I do shorts. We do I don't care, but I think that when you're trying to build your watch time, you need to focus on long form content, lives and everything. Put the shorts in to drive traffic to that larger content. Like Blessings Through Connection, there's
Mhm.
only one short that comes out every week, and that is the weekly recap. We're focusing on the other every day, and I got to get caught up. We have the Bible verses coming out. We have the quote shorts coming out. Those are hopefully going to drive things. I think when you're trying to get those precious times, you got to focus on what's going to get you there, and that's not going to be the shorts. You can use them to
Yeah.
get to gain people there or certain things, because you
Mhm.
never know which one's going to go viral. I did a
Yeah.
yarn one and it got like 9,000 views. I'm like, you never know. So I think it just depends. I enjoy
I
doing
think
them.
it they both have their
Yeah,
benefits, um, depending upon what it is you're trying to do. But I like doing the shorts. I don't know what it is. I mean, I like doing regular videos and I love going live, but there's just something about. I mean, I might, just I don't know. It's just like, gee, I make a short out of that, and it's just fun. Whereas
yeah,
the to me, the longer videos, sometimes those take longer and more thought
yeah.
involved, and it's kind of like, yeah, I don't really feel like making a long video today, but hey, I'll make a couple of shorts. That'll be fun.
I think we have
So
600
I
over
don't know.
600 shorts on our channel.
Yeah, I don't know how many I have, but I have a lot because I try to do at least one a day, and then sometimes I do two or
Yeah.
three a day. Just depends, on what's going on. But I've heard people on both sides of that question, and I'm just like, I just don't want to take all mine, put all mine to private or
No, I'm
unlisted
not,
or whatever you do with them.
because I
You
think that
know,
they reach
I'm like,
different
no, why?
audiences.
Yeah, I think so too.
I've had my Bible verse shorts go, and you get 20 subscribers later, and you just never know what's gonna make it hit.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think you have to.
And I was going to ask you about that too. You can do like two videos, like the same kind of content. One video will get 20 views, the other video will get
I
300
know.
views. It's like, I don't get that. You know, it's just sometimes it's just like,
You
okay,
never
I,
know.
I don't understand it. I don't know how what it does. And then a lot of times I think, well, the only people that watch the long form videos are people who are already subscribed and already come in your lives and things like that. And then I'll see people from that subscribe from a short, and then they'll be watching stuff. So it's like I go back and forth. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm not taking mine
I
away.
don't know.
I like doing them,
Yeah, I
and
like doing mine.
you know, I'm not going to take them away. We do the Bible verses. We take the Bible verses from our devotions, which I'm again working to get caught up with, and we'll take those. We'll put them in in a we'll put those in the shorts, and then we're putting out the songs. And I'm just gonna keep plugging along. That's all I can do. I can just, and here's the thing too, to some degree. I think that there's a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there's a lot of great content on there on YouTube. But sometimes it's sometimes easy to think, well, you could go down a rabbit hole in the sense of, let me do this over here that is clickbait, or this is kind of like rumors and all this kind of stuff. And people get those, and it's kind of like those channels thrive at times when channels like stuff that you're doing and stuff like we're doing is kind of like, it's like the good content sometimes gets buried underneath the other stuff, and it's kind of like, we're here. We're just trying to do good, wholesome content. And sometimes YouTube is not, if you're going to grow a channel, it's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. No, you have to be tough, and
Well, you better be willing to work and have thick skin, because no telling what you're going to come.
And that's why I did that song, that Back in the Saddle, because I can say that quote for that quote Monday was, how do you ride a horse? You mount, get on the mounting block, and then you mount on the horse and you stay on. And there's been times where either the chat's slow, I'm blessing to the connection, or blessed to crochet, and I've had to say, Mary, you're on that horse, you got to stay on. No matter what, you're on it. And that image of just saying, I'm not going to stop, I'm not going to quit, I'm not going to quit my dreams that I have, is there for a reason. I'm not stopping. So you got to mount up, and then you got to stay mounted, and you can't get off, no matter what. And there's people like Real Outdoor Living and like you that's going to be like, guess what? I'm not going to let you quit. Even though there has been times where I've kind of wanted to throw up my hands and say, forget it. But it's still important.
Yep. I think that you have to have a passion and a drive to do it, because there will be times that you think, is it really worth it? Am I making any kind of difference? Should I keep doing it or whatever? And, you may have to change direction. Heck, I changed my name. You do whatever you think is going to help. But if you think you're going to get rich quick,
no,
I pray for you, because Mr. Beast makes a lot of money, but we all can't be Mr. Beast, No. So, your hard work will pay off, but it may not be monetarily. It may be in the connections that you make and the friendships that you have. So it is worth it. I think everybody has got something to say and value in what they have to say. And it's just a matter of getting out there and doing it and not giving up and being true to what you want to do. I mean, I've been told so many things over the years, and it's like, sometimes you got to quit listening to what other people say, and you just got to do what's in your heart and just do it and see what happens.
Well, that's why we say on our channel, be proud of being yourself, because everyone else is taken. There's nobody else like me. There's nobody else like Echo. God made us all unique, and He made us special just the way we're supposed to be. And nobody else can do what we're doing, and our channel is unique. Don't look at the name. And the name can fool you. Go in and look who they are. Look what they're doing. Look what they're supporting. Look what they have. And another reason I'm doing this, why I've done it, and we put recipes on the channel that meant something to my daughter and part of our family history. Because one day, I hope to be able to hold my grandbaby in my arms. I just want one granddaughter. That's all I want. Look, one. Rest can be boys. One. um, he, they have a very strong male lineage in his side of the family. Um, but I just want to be able to sit there and, they can, as they get older, they can see their Yaya, because that's what I'll be one day. Hopefully, God willing, as Yaya's grandmother in Greek. And they can see me, and they can see me say that I love them before they were even a thought in their parents' eye, and that I've prayed for them and I cared for
Mhm.
them, and that they were special to me before even the thought happened, and so forth. And so there's a legacy where there's recipes on our channel that I grew up with and were important to me. And so it's another thing too, it's a legacy thing, you know
Yeah.
one day your granddaughter will be growing up, and she'll be able to show her children all the stuff that you created, and that this was your great grandmother. And
Yeah.
so it's part of a legacy too as
Mhm.
well. And that's another reason we're doing it.
And I think it's one of those things where, we don't know who's going to
No.
be watching it. We don't know, you know, where any of these videos go, but like they say, once it's on YouTube, it's there,
Yeah.
So it's has a life of its own, and there's no telling how long it'll be out there, circulating. I know that I have been seeing some of my old videos pop up, and I'm like, okay, I'm not that person anymore. But I am so glad I have those videos because I can see the
Change up.
difference in
I can see
myself,
it in me too.
you know? And I just really think that I'm
Yeah.
glad I have them. I mean, I kind of cringe sometimes, like, oh gosh, but I'm like so thankful to be able to see
Yeah.
that and say, okay, that was me, but that's not me
Hmm.
anymore. So, because, and my granddaughter has grown. I mean, she was when Norma and I started, she was, infant still. And, so I mean, we've got videos of her, toddling around, learning how to walk, and being in the high chair. And I saw a video earlier of my dog and my granddaughter, and I was like, I forgot that time period had
Yeah.
even passed. To see the two of them interacting together, it was just precious. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I have those videos.
Well, and uh, I've said to people, there's been a lot I've gone through in my life, but if I can help somebody through what I've had to go through, I mean, I've raised a child with autism. I've been through a first marriage that was abusive. I've been through a divorce. I took care of a dad with dementia. I've, dealt with dealing with struggling with eating because of emotions. I've dealt with a lot of things in my life. I have the fibromyalgia. I've dealt with there's been a lot. And if I can at least help somebody else that is going through it or has gone through it or something like that, then that really helps. I feel like I didn't go through it for nothing. It's like the my friend in
Right.
Texas who has a son with autism. Well, guess what? All she needs to do is call me on the phone. And she's done it on several different occasions because she knows this girl knows. She doesn't have to explain. She
Yeah.
doesn't have to do anything. I had somebody when I was raising Christina who didn't have children, but she was a special needs teacher. And her and I just meshed. She's
Hmm.
since passed. And her and I meshed, and I could call her up and talk to her for an hour when nobody else understood what I was going through, when my friends thought I was, nuts and didn't quite understand it, didn't want to take the time to understand it. But, she's my sister. She can
Exactly.
call me up and say, I'm here for you. And she's done it. And that I met her through being on YouTube.
Hmm.
I get it when nobody else gets it because I've walked those
Hmm.
shoes.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes in that has a grandchild or a child on the spectrum, like, yeah, I know, I get it. I totally understand it. I totally know what it is like, and I've been there and done it. Not that we're on the same path, but there's so many similarities to be able to understand. And you know,
And
yeah,
sometimes that's all it
exactly.
takes is having somebody who understands it
Yeah.
that you can talk
I've
to.
read
Because so many people, they don't take the time to listen to, and
no.
they don't get it. They just don't understand anything that, you might go through. And then you'll meet somebody though, and it's almost like you don't even have to say
Yeah.
anything. It's just like, you just know this person gets it. They know what I've been through. And, I've got several people like that I've met on here, that closer to me than my own, family and my friends that I've had for 40 years. It's just something about that, sharing that
That connection.
similarity, I guess, in the
Yeah.
struggle, that you can really connect to somebody else's pain, not because you have actually maybe walked in their shoes, but you've walked in
Yes.
similar shoes enough to know, what it is, that might be bothering them, or
I mean, we've
whatever.
talked about it. We've come on here as I talked about raising funds for my daughter's service dog, because a lot of people don't understand all
Mm.
that. And the reason why I want to, I've talked about that and I continue to talk about it is because people see a service dog and it's like, oh my goodness, let me just, and no, you can't, don't do that, please. Because I, as a mother, had wanted to just fuss at people and I couldn't because I was educating them. There was a little girl at my daughter's birthday
Mm.
party. I was showing her pictures of Jordan and I made a point of saying, "You see that special vest he has on?" Which I did a song on Suno for Jordan. I said, "See that special vest he has on?" And I told her about the vest and what she should be doing when she encounters somebody with a service animal. I'm educating her. I'm educating people to realize that that service dog that I raised and I sacrificed and I counted pennies for my daughter, and for those people that are standing up, I suggest you sit down. And I'm not misquoting. It was $15,000 for her one dog. My husband needs a diabetic service dog. That is $25,000 now. So,
Mhm.
people need to be aware of that. So they say, wait a minute, maybe we need to do something to change that because it shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah. No. And you've talked about this before too. There is a big
Yeah.
difference
Yes.
between somebody going online and getting the little thing and putting a vest on an animal and saying it's a
Yes.
service
And there's
animal.
people that do it.
A lot of people do that just so they can take their animal in wherever it is they want to take them. But that is not
No,
what we're talking about. That
I
is
can,
not a trained service animal. The school that my daughter works at and that my granddaughter is going to school at, they have a police officer who's a canine unit there as
yeah,
their like resource officer, and so they have the
yeah,
dog there. And that's like one of the first things. My granddaughter came home, and that dog
yeah,
is working. You don't
yeah,
pet that dog. You don't. And I was
yes,
like, exactly. And even though it's a canine dog, she'll know that when she sees a service dog
exactly.
working also,
Oh,
that's not
there
somebody's
was
pet,
multiple
you
people
know.
that would come up to me with Jordan and say, uh, and can you tell me, I want to train my dog to do what your dog does so I can, take them places. And I said, what's a disability? I don't have one. I said, it's against the law, right? They got quiet real quick. But I'm sitting as a mother thinking,
Hmm.
I've worked and sacrificed $15,000 plus all the expenses Jordan had to be able to get my
Yeah.
daughter where she was in the place she is now. I can guarantee you without Jordan, she wouldn't be where she is now. And I worked
Hmm.
really hard to do that. And you just want to put a vest on and take your dog everywhere. Don't work like that.
Mm-mm. No. And it to me, it's just because, and not all, Most people you see walking around the grocery store with the dog, I mean, they're quick to tell you, it's my right to have this
Oh
dog
yeah,
in the
I've had
store,
to keep
or
my mouth
whatever.
shut more than once.
You know? And it's like if I grew up in a neighborhood that we had a lady who was blind, and she had a seeing eye dog. Matter of fact, she had two different ones while I was a kid, and we would see her and her husband in the grocery store, and she would, have the dog or whatever, and it would always, just make me feel like, that dog is
Yeah.
her eyes. That dog is making it possible for
Yes.
her to go out into the world and do things. And now when I see people with, any kind of little dog, and it's like that dog is not
Oh,
a
I'm
service
telling you.
animal. That dog is not helping you do anything. That is a pet.
Oh, I've had to,
That
I've
is your
literally
pet.
sat there as they've been in the carts going, Mary, keep your mouth shut, because it grates me the wrong way to see that.
Hmm.
And you know, love and adore your pets. And it's like we love Mocha. She's an emotional support dog. She's very, if I'm hurting, she is all over me, like right I mean, she is just all over me. She wants to be
Yeah.
with me, she wants to comfort me. She is all over me if I'm dealing with something, struggling. But I wouldn't put a vest on that dog and consider it a service dog for nothing, because she doesn't have the right temperament for it. She couldn't hold it. She's a great one, but
See,
she's not
that's
the
my
one.
dog. I, I call Chloe my
Yeah.
companion dog, and she is my emotional support, But she's
Yeah.
antisocial when it comes to people and other animals. There's
Yeah.
no way I could take her anywhere. I mean, even in the car, she's like attacking the window, trying
It
to
was
get to
so
the other
funny the other
vehicles and
day
things.
because
There's no way.
the lady that's walking Mocha every day literally came with her daughter. Mocha, the leash we had, my mother couldn't hold on to and let go, and Mocha went running to this lady. And then, of course, the lady got the leash, and then she went running to her daughter, and she pulled out and she started barking at her, and then she went running to her, tail wagging the entire time. And I'm like, Mocha. And then she would pull away and she'd bark at
Let's make
her, and
up
I'm
your
like,
mind.
oh
Are
my
you friendly
goodness.
or not?
And yet, if you
Yeah.
say this woman's
That,
name now, this little dog will perk up her ears and she will be looking for her. I'm like, if you don't think that she knows that she's coming to give her a walk, it's absolutely amazing to see. But
well, my dog knows that my granddaughter will give her, not only share her food with her, but will give her treats and things like that. And so whenever my granddaughter is here, it's like that dog follows her around until she gives her something. It's like, no, I am not going away until I get
yeah,
my treats, because I know
you got the
you're
good
going to have
stuff.
some food. And
Yeah.
after my granddaughter leaves, then Chloe will, it's like a radar thing. She's got that nose on the ground, and she is going
Yeah.
everywhere looking, because she just knows there's going to be something,
Oh, if we
dropped
come
for
back
her
with
or
a
whatever.
car,
And if,
Mocha wants to go and sniff the entire car, the wheels. She wants to know where it's been. I mean, this dog, if she had been socially right, corrected, and not abused before we've gotten her, she would have made a drug sniffing dog like you couldn't believe. She is just
yeah,
amazing. But you know, let's let's get to getting that connection happening, like we say over at Blessings through Blessed to Crochet. Keep crocheting that connection. No hook is required. Blessing through connection, that's keeping those connection engines going. It truly does make a difference in the growth of your channel, the community. If you're trying to build an audience, you're going to build an audience. But I can tell you, if you build a
mm,
community, it's going to be stronger. because that community is going to want to bring, to send you out to do more to help you grow. They'll want to be a part of
Mm-hmm.
that. They were a part of it when my aunt was, when she got the diagnosis of cancer, when she needed to come up to give us that one last hug, and they were there for me when I had to get on and say she's gone to be with Jesus. And they were
Mm-hmm.
there the night I played when we were in the Suno night, and you said to me, I'm sure that one was hard for you to get through, and I had just made it. And you were all there for me as I played that. Tears at the very end, but
Mm-hmm.
that's what community is going to be. And YouTube has the
Yeah.
platform there. Let's come in, let's fall into it. Because there's people that have autistic children. They're too tired. I mean, it's like I wouldn't have been able to go out and have, connections. No, I was too tired as an autistic mom. I needed this and I didn't have it. There's people that are
There's
homebound or
a
people
lot of
that are
people
dealing with,
that are, yeah, homebound and just can't get out and do things.
yeah,
And we're their entertainment. We're
yes,
their connection to the world, you know.
yes,
And to think that people can, and that's why when my daughter, can't you postpone it? Can't you cancel it? No, I don't care if one person is planning on coming to my live stream. I'm going to be there for
exactly,
them. And if something
exactly,
happens and I have to cancel, I feel terrible. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, mm-mm,
You
no,
show
you
up for
can't
yourself. You
count
show up
on
for
you.
everybody in the
Yeah,
chat,
that's right. And
and
you don't know who needs to be
yeah,
uplifted that day.
maybe
Mary, I had somebody email me and say that they were going to unalive themselves. And they happened into one of my lives. And we all welcomed that person in and included and then they emailed me afterwards and told me that. And that they
oh,
did not because of the welcome they got in my live stream.
that's
And I was like,
awesome.
I that's
Yeah,
why you do what you do, because
exactly.
somebody needs you to be there for them. And you
Yep.
don't know, you may never know. I mean, yes, sometimes I hear from people and I'm like, thank you so much for sharing that with me, because it does mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you never know. And
You
then you might
never know.
in somebody else's chat and they don't know you, and somebody will say, oh, I know her, yeah, she's
Mm,
good and whatever, and you're like, well, who the heck is this person? Doesn't know me. And then you realize they've been watching you and they know
yeah.
who you are, but they may not come in and comment, and so
Yeah.
you don't recognize them, but they recognize you you
I
know
was at a family gathering and somebody said to me, "I really like your stuff on your channel." I'm like, "What?" I was so surprised because I thought
hmm
I'd never seen her in the comments, but that she
yeah.
was watching. And there's people that have, maybe are taking care of a parent who's sick or someone. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
remember when my dad, who had dementia, and I had said, I hope he forgets my name first. And then my, because my daughter couldn't handle it. And I just remember going over to my house, my parents' house. Of course, we lived next door at the time. And I said to my dad, I said, hi, Dad. He goes, hello. It's nice to meet you. My name is Chuck. He said, who are you?
Mm.
And I said, he's forgotten. And he never said my name after that. And I remember thinking to myself, I said, Dad, I'm your daughter, Mary. Oh, you are? Okay, well, it's nice to meet you. And I remember going home,
Mm.
trying to keep it together as I was there. And then going home, and I don't think Josh was there. And I just absolutely fell apart in tears. My daughter wasn't
Mhm.
home. Or if she was, I went into the bathroom and cried. And I thought, I'd have loved to have a community where I could have gone in either that time or that night and said, my dad forgot my name today. Because it was really hard and
Mm.
I felt very alone. And it
Yeah.
was just like you're walking in and this person has known you for X amount of years and doesn't know you from Adam. It was so hard. And we've got to come
That
together,
disease is so brutal.
as a community. and yet he was changing every day. There was something he couldn't do today or
Yeah.
this day or whatever. And that's what I want people to get with both what we're doing with Blessed to Crochet. We're still going to have topics, and we've kind of I'm probably, when I'm using Streamlabs right now, I'm not happy with Streamlabs. I was never I know you're using Restream, but it's not been my favorite. But I've just said when we get done with Streamlabs after April of next year, I'm going back to StreamYard. But we will get back to doing panels, and but we're doing a lot of just sitting in the rocking chair and getting back to basic building connection, building community, being able to put that hashtag in. We have hashtag blessed over there on our channel. And then focusing on really getting people to come into Blessings Through Connection and doing exactly the same thing. And you may come in there and say, well, I didn't meet anybody new, but there could be 10 people you already know. Well, that's 10 people that you can go visit, watch at least a minute or maybe 2 or 3 shorts or a 3-minute video, and make a comment and support them and leave your digital footprint on their videos. Because I've gone into shorts and
And I
videos and
guarantee
said,
you,
oh,
you
let me
will
go
meet
ahead and check
somebody
that channel out.
from those people. Yep, you will meet somebody else. It won't just stop at that
No.
one person. I would be willing to bet it. It would not
No.
stop just with that one person. Now, if you don't make a comment or you don't show up in their live stream or something like that, yeah, they're not going to come and track you down and be like, oh, gee, I want to meet you. But if you make your presence known, eventually people are going to be like, I keep seeing this person. You know, what's their deal? Who is this? You know, and they'll start checking you back out. And then before you know it, you'll be meeting people and it'll just be, you'll be like, why haven't I been doing this the whole time?
You know, it's like if you
because
come
it's
in,
so easy to do it.
if you come into Blessings Through Connection, let's just say Echo comes in there. And I go to Echo's channel and I find her last short and I can make a comment. Maybe there's 6 or 7 other comments in that short. Maybe there's somebody in that short I haven't connected with. So I'm going to click on that person and I'm going to go over to their channel and make a connection. And then I see several
And
people
that's
in
the
there.
thing. You
Then I'm
don't
going to
need a
go to
range.
that channel and make a connection. Then I'm going to come back to Blessings Through Connection. Let's say Real Outdoor Living comes in. I'm going to go to, it just continues to go that way. And it's meant.
And if you click on the comments, you don't need a wrench to get to
No,
their
you just click
channel.
on their avatar and the thing.
Just click on it, and that's how I've met a lot of people, is through, I read the comments. Like if it's something that interests me and I'm looking, I go to leave my comment and then I see that somebody else said something about the video or whatever, and then I'll even look at that and I'll think, let me check this person out, and I'll go and look at that person's channel. It's so easy to do it. It doesn't take that much time. I think a lot of people are under the impression, I'm not going to sit there and watch YouTube all day. I don't watch it all day, but I'm all the time into something, doing something with it. And even on the days I have my granddaughter that I don't normally go live or make videos, I still have my phone and I'll still be, in between things looking at stuff. Doesn't take that long. It really doesn't.
It just, and two,
I've had so many people say, help me grow my channel. And I'm like, do you go on other people's lives? Well, no.
Then you're not going to do it.
Do you leave comments on videos? Well, no. It's like, okay.
And if you go in trying to say, I have a channel, I have a channel, I have a channel. No. Hello. How are you? Are you doing good today? I had a cheeseburger. Those kind of things are where people are going to start to connect with you. And really, we're trying to get people to realize the magic doesn't happen. It happens within the chat. Echo and I are enjoying each other right now, and I know there's not a lot of activity going in the chat right now, probably because it's 11:30 and everybody's gone to bed. But the point of it is, as that chat's rolling and has for over 2.5 hours, people have been connecting with each other on both channels. That's what it's all about, guys. That's what we're trying to do over at Blessings Through Connection. That we're trying to do with Blessed to Crochet. And, you know, it may not be anything fancy, but taking my rocking chair out there when it's not raining, letting you look at the beautiful fountain with the fall leaves behind us. If it's peaceful and it helps you and there's somebody talking and you're watching me crochet and you're chatting with each other and you're making those
Mm-hmm.
crocheting those connections and you're getting the connection engines going and blessings through connection, you're doing it. And if you've gotten your
Mm-hmm.
channel monetized or partially monetized, realize there are 150 million YouTube channels. 3 million of them get monetized. If you've reached
Mm-hmm.
that, you've reached a pretty good amount of, something spectacular. And every month on both channels, and it's the only time we go live outside of that, is something called The Bridge. And we come together with The Source and several other channels to find channels that are smaller so that we can show them out and get them exposed. And I did that. I had a bunch of fun.
Is that the fishy thing
Yes.
started that?
I had a bunch of
Yes.
fun
Okay.
with that, and I met probably about 6 or 7 people I had no idea I had never met before through that, along with the
Mm.
channels that they shared and so forth and so on. So, coming together too, as well as content creators and collaborators, are really a good idea. And to the channels that have bigger numbers, come to the channels like us and like Echo that are doing good things. There's plenty of room on YouTube, and come beside them.
Mm.
There's a story that we can tell to your audience that they may be able to relate to. It helps us and it helps you. I don't want to ever be big enough that I can't help somebody.
See, and I was given this terrible advice. Don't have somebody on as a guest unless they have more subscribers than you do.
It's terrible.
Okay, well, how is anybody going to get subscribers?
Exactly.
It's like, I feel like it doesn't matter how many subscribers. If you've got something I want to talk about, I'm going to have that person on my channel. But if I meet somebody who has more subscribers than I do, then yeah, I want to pick their brain and see what it is that they're doing or whatever. But never limit yourself.
No.
Oh, you don't have the numbers. No.
Numbers don't matter.
You just don't know who those people are, who they know. And
it's, I look at it and say,
can't
we're not at the 2K, and I feel like we're walking like a turtle right now, very, very slowly. But it's a goal. It's different from, looking at it from the number perspective. We have that goal. We want to be able to celebrate with our community because it's a milestone, but it's not about the numbers. It's about the community, and it's about the support. And that's what it comes down to. So,
well, and I don't really care about clicks and views and how many subscribers and all of that, but I do want to see growth. I do want to see that somebody is getting something out of it of value, that I'm growing. If I'm not growing, then is it worth me doing it? So that I look at those kind of things because of that, because I want to, that's like my feedback. Like, is it worth what I'm putting into it? Am I reaching anybody? But if I never got any bigger than I am right now, I would be okay with that, because I never thought I'd get monetized. I was like, I never even dreamed about getting monetized. It was like, I don't think it'll ever happen for me.
Well, and I'm sitting there thinking we're only 80 away from 2K. And
you'll get there.
We're so close.
I went so hard to get the 1,000. And then it seemed like once I hit the 1,000, I got to 1,500 really fast.
Yeah.
But from 1,500 to 2,000 seemed like it took longer than that first 1,000.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you're not going to grow anymore. And then all of a sudden, once I hit the 2,000, it was just like, oh, now it's 21.
Yeah.
Now it's 22, and it's like, I'm getting ready to go to 3 now. Yeah. And I just did not, but it happened.
And you did it because you supported other people and you made those connections. That's why you did it. That's why we're
Hi,
doing it.
Daria. I definitely believe in supporting other people.
Absolutely.
That's just, you know, that's just, and it's like the source. I can remember when he had under 1,000 subscribers, and he told me, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I was like, come on, I'll try to help. We'll do whatever. And now look at him.
Yeah.
He's blowing up over there. It's like, I am so happy for
Yes.
him. It's like, you know, I love that, to see other people doing what they want to do, and being successful at it. And there's other people that, they're like down in the dumps. I'll never grow. Well, with that attitude, you probably won't.
Exactly.
It's like, you got to be willing to get out there, put yourself out there, start, start getting around. And Gail is a perfect example. Gail's people have nothing to do with my content. My people have nothing to do with her content, but yet we both of our channels support the other channel.
Exactly.
It's like, you don't have to be in that particular community to get support and to give support.
No,
You
I'm
don't.
all over the place.
I one of my biggest supporters is Vince from France, who speaks French, who I cannot understand a word of his content, and he's a gamer.
Yeah.
But let me put out a video or let me go live, and Vince is there.
Yep.
So even though we had never communicated really, other than, I know he's here and he knows I'm there, but yet I don't know who has found me through him. And I know people have found him through my channel,
And that's why we started the way we did with Blessings Through Connection, because we kind of feel like it's a way of giving back. It's a way of giving back to our community. It's a way of, getting people, whether they're content, whether they have content or whether they're viewers, just all come together. Because this world isn't easy. It's tough. There's hard times. And we all have different views and opinions on things. It's fine. We can. But we can also come together and be
Fabian,
amazing
welcome.
supporters.
Yes, I know it's late. I'm not usually on this late. People that are in California are going to be starting to come in, because they're going to be like, what is he doing up this late?
Yeah. I'm starting to lose my voice.
I'm not normally a late nighter. Well, I've enjoyed it.
So did I. I always do.
When you started blessing through connection, I was like, yep, Mary's got to come on. We got to talk about this, And then it was like our schedules were crazy. And I was like, eventually she's going to be able to come on and talk about it. So I'm glad that we did, and that we continue to support each other. I appreciate it so much. And if my life ever slows down to where I can look at my notifications before you've gone live, I will be there.
You're there.
It's like most of the time I see it and I'm like,
well, that's why I did the mod group. I made you a mod so we could help each other. And that's what we continue to do.
Then at least sometimes I'll get the notification and I'll be like, okay, I'll.
That's another thing. You guys got to be your own notifications. Echo knows I will put out my stuff every place before I go live if I can. You cannot rely on YouTube to send the notifications. You have to be your own notifications.
No,
don't give up. Keep, be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. Remember that. And remember how amazing everyone is. And if you're not looking at Blessed to Crochet, please do. If you're not looking at Blessings Through Connection, please do. Because we're more than we're all focused on either channel. We are focused on connection. 100%. And we want people to come together and connect with each other and be there.
And you're getting some really good channels coming in there.
I am.
I mean, both of those that I mentioned are great channels. And I mean,
Real Outdoor
very
Living
helpful,
is amazing.
very good content.
And we become fast friends too.
I was just like, boy. Yeah. That is, just amazing. And you never know who you're
Yeah.
going to meet in there. You never know who might pop
Both
in there.
channels.
So check it out.
Yeah.
Both channels. True. True. All right. We're going to go ahead and end this because we've been on 2 hours and 44 minutes. So everybody's probably like, it's bedtime, folks. But I
did
enjoyed
too.
it as I always
Yes.
do. Thank you to everybody who came in, and thank you to everyone who
Yes.
watched the replay. We
Yes.
appreciate y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and take us
Good night,
out.
everybody.
Bye.
Keep those connection engines going.
Well, maybe